Fire away.
Ensign Venn, on remote assignment with his cadre of cadets to an observation post, has flagged an anomalous black hole that has apparently sprung out of space suddenly. Render Station has assigned the Achilles to investigate this black hole, determine if any smugglers are operating in the area, and detain them if they are in breach of Klingon or Federation law. This is neutral space, so our authority is limited to those of our own polities. Once we've retrieved our crew from the observation post and ascertained the status of the anomaly, we'll set up a sensor net to maintain watch going forward. End Captain's log.
The stardate is 60103, and we are in a 2-threat game. We cut to the bridge of the Achilles as it is on approach to the listening post that Ensign Venn and the cadets are aboard.
I should verify as a Rytlov question. This isn't
Certainly.
the same place as that other signal that I found out about, is it? Where there was the one on Narendra and the other one like way off in this direction?
No.
Okay, because they're both in the same direction. I had to ask.
Yeah.
That's not closer to the black hole either, is it?
No, actually,
Okay.
It was closer to the Romulan border, up north.
So it was like, if I pull the map over to here, and I snap it properly, it was like in this region. The second read was in this region.
Okay, and we're here.
You're like, yeah, you're heading out like this way. You're out here somewhere.
Okay, never mind.
Yep. Worth clarifying even for the for audience, because that may have been unclear.
Yeah.
You're currently in Shackleton space on approach to the listening post, mired in the anomaly of the Shackleton expanse. Presumably at green alert.
Yeah.
Beyond the normal navigational stuff, but you know. You have the bridge, folks.
Commander, or it is Captain if you're in charge of the ship, never mind. Captain, permission to pull up a registry of all Federation and Klingon vessels whose known path takes them anywhere near this vicinity from Narendra or to Narendra.
Granted.
Just because having a transponder and then turning it off when you're doing the bad things, and then turning it on when you're leaving, is a thing.
Indeed. As soon as we're in range of the observation post, please hail them.
I'm paranoid.
Admiralty focus, a worthy question. We should probably resolve that.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had one of those.
Yeah.
Let me confirm what my
Until then, though, I'm guessing paranoid trait?
Paranoid will reduce difficulty.
Lovely. Paranoia focus, I'll give you a threat because that's how this works. Yeah, that's why I give you a threat. There we go. We made two.
I believe one of my focuses was strategy and tactics.
That sounds correct.
Why did that roll 2? Only one die is selected on the ship.
For some reason they are not on... They do not appear to be on Grennan's sheet. Weird.
Wait, his focuses aren't there?
The extra focuses.
His Admiralty ones, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a focus, but what about second focus?
I don't know why the ship rolled twice.
So yes,
tactical systems.
strategy and tactics.
Okay, that is the Admiralty focus at the moment.
And I'm using one momentum to roll the hailing. There we go. We've made it back, and then some, and the ship hasn't even rolled yet.
Sounds like a directive, not a focus pen.
Comms. Engineering. Will this roll just one die? I don't know why it's rolling 2 dice. It's got one selected.
See if it does it differently with Petra. I mean,
Yeah,
we
you try.
have a roll, but
Yeah,
see if
we've got a roll. It missed, but you try. I want to see if this is just a me problem. What the fuck?
It appears to be a you problem. Sorry, skill issue.
Okay.
Try it again. Maybe it's been fixed. Now maybe the sheet in Roll20 will see it properly.
Good point.
Yep.
Aha.
Don't
Okay.
know what that's about. I literally saw it switch from 2 to 1. I was like, huh? But he's seeing. All right, fine.
I was seeing 1. Yeah. I even
Yeah,
thought it from 3 back to 1, or 2, 3,
Yeah.
then to 1 again, just to be sure it wasn't that, and then it just
and it was
wasn't
just stuck on
allowed-
two.
It wasn't
Interesting.
updating me. Either way, so first roll we made through momentum on. I spent 1 of that, and we got 2 momentum back on the second roll.
All right.
So both hailing and ship registry.
How many of us are there? There are 4 of us. So.
Just because hailing is an engineering roll from the tactical station.
Yeah.
There are at least 4 ships that would be in this region of space. That are registered to be in this sector somewhere.
Okay. We'll just make a note of those, send the information to sensors, just so that they're, if you get this vessel, if you get a vessel signature, check it against these ones first to speed up their identification process.
I mean, not the backseat player, do whatever you want, but might it be worth it to learn for a momentum who and what those vessels are?
Getting.
Do you wish to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a momentum.
I was getting to it, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
We've had a week off and we're all turning on each other.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Violent bloodshed.
Oh no. This is what happens when the captain's away.
There's a coup to overthrow the commander.
Fuck them all off.
Led by Arlen.
I think I can take him.
Yeah, probably.
Wait, I might as well do them all in one go, because why bother doing them individually? Oh. Oh, I got these backwards.
How dare you?
Firing those off to you now. I just have to get them in a way that was readable. I wasn't giving away all my notes.
Translating GM notes into player handouts. Yeah, that's a skill.
Okay. Well, we'll find out if the commander has a relative on that then. Not seriously, but like, I'm not spending a momentum for that. It's just like, no, just of note, Commander, there is the U.S.S. Sundown, which is an Andorian heavy attack ship.
What are they doing out here?
That's a great question.
All right.
Andorian things.
This far out, though, our heavy battleships don't usually leave the home systems.
Attack ship, not battleship. I believe there's a difference.
Right.
Attack ship's like
Different
cruiser
threats?
is like cruiser size, so sub scale 5.
Okay. Makes more sense then.
It's heavy, so it'll be a 4 because a regular attack ship's 3.
No Klingon vessels, all Federation.
That makes our job slightly easier.
You get a
So-
reply ping from the station, and they hear your message.
All right. It's just a reply thing that like we have open comms.
They're waiting to see if you want visual or audio.
Oh, visual.
Of course, you would ask for that. 1 second.
I'm making you do more work, Shian.
Copy,
You on your toes.
paste. Wine. Oh, I was putting them on. Okay. All right. Cool. I don't know why that did. Anyway, on screen appears Lieutenant Dexter Valinus, who is seated at one of the consoles at the listening post. You can see there's some activity, and some of your cadets are kind of. You can see some of your cadets passing behind him with like their bags on their shoulder and getting ready to go.
Lieutenant?
Commander, not often we get to see an Achilles class this far out.
Well, the render station was intrigued by the little discovery that your outpost made.
Special accommodations go to your ensign Ven. He was able to help us translate, well, as much as we can learn without dedicating all the resources of the post in that direction.
Right. I'll make sure that's noted. Anything else of note about the cadets and ensigns stay?
Nothing that isn't already noted in the academic records for the cadets. I'll have those passed along to you, sir.
Wonderful. Well, then, whenever they're ready for transport, let us know.
Aye, sir. And new scene as we cut over to the listening post.
That's such a weird comment.
Achilles class. Remember, there's more than one Achilles out here. They're just not. They're the Achilles class. You're just the NX.
I didn't know there was any more out here.
It's been years. Yes, they built more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
I think
especially
there's
given
there's like
successful-
6 Achilles classes or something at this point. Like we're
Yeah.
very rare ships, but
Like the one they would have seen would have been the Fifth Fleet's Achilles. So it's like at most they would have done a passing like, "Hey, we're checking the border.
Are
Are
they?
you, are you alive? We're alive. Okay, bye." You know.
Do you think they're all named after famous Greek heroes or after famous gay men?
Why not both?
No, it's just one of those. I've didn't think there would be another one out here anywhere. Probably like more central.
Yeah, like at most each fleet would, like they're all dotted across the fleets, so and only 6 fleets even have them. Because it's not a super popular series given the rise of the other classes. Plus they're expensive to build. Because they're big, big ships. Like compared to the Californias, there's tons of Californias out now, but they're, Miranda size, so they're easy to produce.
Yeah, because at the other one's all scale 6.
So Ven, you're collected with Kobuk, Sorel, and Vizan. You'll have your bags ready to go. eventful. Well, it's been an educational time on the listening posts since you left the Gungnir and the adventures on the Gungnir there, and then the stuff you've learned here. Some stuff was set to the black hole between you and Ensign Jin Razor, but the post is responsible for this whole a massive swath of territory, a massive three-dimensional sphere of space that extends countless light years. It's like we're not a research station, we're a listening post. So, but would you have taken any extra time to try to study what you've learned on your own off time, or would you have stayed on kept your time?
I think for now, Ven would have actually kept his time his time. This has been relatively relaxing, all things considered, and Ven is not about to take on more stress than he has to at this moment, because he knows the moment he gets back on board the Achilles, things are gonna go pear-shaped.
Give me insight plus insight plus command difficulty 2 to see if you happen to learn anything in your off time.
Okay. Div 2, I'll take a momentum research focus.
Were you researching your fellow officers?
Okay, I didn't know what this was insight command for. Okay. All right. Then no. Okay. That's 2.
Not that anyone brought it up, but you learned that during your time here that it would seem that Ensign Jin Razor was going to be their last posting, as they were going to be. They didn't try to bring it up in conversation, but you overheard it occasionally because it's not a big state. There's this deck, there's not a whole lot of places to go. But you would have overheard and felt emotionally that with certainty, Ensign Jin Razor is going to be resigning her commission. Something to do with stuff happening back on Beta Z.
Oh, weird. Stuff's happening back on Beta Z, and he's not going to bug her about it because it's her business. He doesn't want to pry, but through Federation News Network, does Ven find out anything going on in Beta Z? Because it's his home. His even though it's not where he was born and raised, it's still his heritage. And
for momentum, I'll tag that. Sure.
hold on. Let me.
Oh, you might have a bonus from. You do. You have 2 bonus actually.
Ben, I would hope you have object permanence by now. Things are always happening on Veda Z, regardless of if you were there or not.
It's not the point.
The station is on alert, on green alert, but it's on alert. No, you see it in its eyes. So it. You.
Oh no.
Like a lost what to your station eyes see.
Wow.
So from the news, it would seem that there is some concern back on Beta Z about some analysts are presuming there is a bit of a. It's one of the super rare things that it almost never happens in a Federation world. But Beta Z is suffering from there's a possibility that in the near future it's going to have a resource drought of various precious metals and crystals that are native to the Betazoid systems. So it's more of a. The news is positing that the Federation Council is going to be, like, as a byline, like the Federation Council is aware of this. They're already setting up things. Starfleet vessels are starting to head out that way to help to prepare them for it. So it's not a crisis yet, but it's a crisis that they think is going to happen if nothing is done.
Yeah, and given the last time there was a big crisis on Beta Z, it was a psychic plague.
Mhm.
I doubt the Federation Council is going to be playing it safe with this.
Now you would have had now that would have been information you would have gotten if you succeeded at cost, because you hit the roll as well. You didn't hit the roll. Sorry, I take that back. I'm shutting up on that front.
Wait, what?
For extra momentum, for extra momentum, there is something else, but it wasn't part of your
yes,
first question.
I have an extra floating momentum. You said there's something else.
Yeah.
Do I have to ask a specific question, or is
No, you can ask me to elaborate. There is something else that
Thank
isn't
you.
being talked about on the news.
elaborate?
It is suspected. It isn't said on the main news nets because it's not a good journalism. They don't posit rumors. They posit things that they can fact check because they have integrity. But in the rumor mills,
Wait, the journalists having integrity? Holy crap! It really is the future.
Sing.
But in certain rumor mills, on certain forums, independent forums, and so on the net, you have heard that there is some belief that this may be connected with the Orion Syndicate purposely draining Betazoid worlds. And from that brief, and that's kind of the rumor that's going out there. But you notice that the Fractal News
What is draining Betazoid worlds?
The Orion Syndicate may be targeting them in particular.
Interesting.
But on the back of that, Lieutenant Valandis kind of turns in his chair. All right, Ensign, cadets. The Achilles is here, ready to pick you all up. Is there anything else you need to grab? Any questions you have before you go?
No, this has all been extremely enlightening. It's an interesting change of pace, and I think we all got something out of this.
Absolutely. It has been a great honor serving with you, Lieutenant. I look forward to maybe serving on one of these full time one day.
Oh, there's always people looking out for listening post officers. There's countless of them all across the frontiers, so it's always a easy job to get if you're looking for it.
That is great to know. I will keep a sensory appendage out.
Cadets Bazan, Sarai, anything to add? Or to request, I should say?
Nothing that comes to mind.
No, this has been most enlightening.
Very good. Safe journeys. Taps his comm badge. This is listening post to Achilles. You can take your officers when ready.
Confirmed.
Should we worry about transporting effects from the latent nearby black hole?
Poof.
I do not. Yeah, fully picturing. He says, "I do not want to materialize inside of poof."
Excellent.
And the camera lingers briefly as Jin Razor kind of peeks her head over and glances where you all were vanishing from. New scene as we come back to the Achilles. You have your cadets back. And in short order, Ensign Ven, it comes up to the bridge, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, if that's my
Yep.
spot on the duty shift,
I think it is.
then enters onto the bridge.
Ensign, take your station.
Yes, Commander. And
I was just going to say, is there any reason to do a medical check on all of these people before I let them go on active duty?
You could argue for that. Yeah, you could check them all.
Okay, could I just have myself or a medical officer perform a routine medical scan before they all intermingle with the rest of the crew?
Good idea.
Oh, I can't type.
I mean, I've got a question. Would Aza be on the bridge?
She could be.
She's the first officer at the moment.
But also, my number 2 isn't here. I would assign Rourke to do this, but I will handle this myself. Take a threat.
Certainly.
Oh, I just wanted to roll one.
Yeah, I'll take the first roll. Gain a momentum. At least 1 momentum, plus the ship.
Yep. That.
Another momentum gained. You noticed that during this time, Ensign Ven's trauma of superior officers has reduced by 1. It's actually down to 3. Apparently, his time over there was very relaxing and very good for him to kind of to center himself and find calm amongst much lower stakes.
Yeah.
But nothing in the everyone else see. Oh, actually, I think some of the other cadets have some trauma. I think Sarai. Sorail's the trauma goes away as they had similar, like part of this job, but part of this was for education and extracurricular stuff, but also it was a here's a post that's much lower stakes. You don't you can just unwind and just watch sensors for a while. Was there anyone else in the cadet corps that was tagged? Kobuk, I think, is okay. Kobuk is okay, more or less. I mean, Kobuk's Kobuk after all.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Vazan is okay. But yeah, there's nothing. You medically can determine that all the cadets in the ensign seem to be in healthy order. And they were kind of due for. They do have checkups they need to have redone in the near future, just because on a listening post there isn't a dedicated medical officer. It's whoever has medical training. They don't have doctors out there. Their medical checkups are done by starships that go and check on them. But this listening post, the listening post staff isn't due for theirs until their next cycle. Like one of the other ships in the interior group is supposed to come out here and check on them.
Okay, sounds good.
Probably not the wildfire; it's the other one. If I can't quite recall what it's called at the moment.
Okay. I'm sorry. You can continue as you were. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to do that before you gave everyone space plague.
Hey, it's a good thing to check on because that's exactly what I would have done. But you checked, so now I can't do that. So
spend 2 threat to make something terrible happen.
Yeah, something within reason, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, now it's not reasonable for me to pick on you because you were checked.
I would like to do some preparations for the sensor net before we get in system.
What kind?
I would like to have our logistics officer and quartermaster help me go through the equipment we have and organize it and get ready. and kind of
Sounds
go
right.
over plans like, okay, if we find this phenomenon, here's how we deal with it. Kind of
Do you-
get a plan. But yeah, I don't have a focus on logistics, but I did make a new supporting character that does. So I would like to use a crew support to activate this supporting character to help me out here.
Who are they?
Chief Specialist Zoff. They're the quartermaster.
This guy.
They're a Dosian, yes.
Ooh, the 3 arms.
Yep.
I love those things.
The roll is in the roll 20.
Okay. They do have a focus. Let's just play this straight, especially since I'm helping out. So. I have a focus. I do not.
And updating their thing so we have the proper acronym. There we go.
Shift did not particularly help there.
Yeah, you're between yourself and Chief Specialist Zoft, you're able to get your inventories in order, make sure you have all the things you do need set aside in such a way that it's easily grabbable. This advantage will actually absolve you of the cost of the net. So there's no opportunity cost for them now because you've now prepared well in advance of actually being at the target site. So like chief specialists often their crew are going to be setting that all like physically moving everything so that it can be quickly moved to where it needs to be without being in the way.
Yeah, move it to like the center of a cargo base. That way, we can pull out and move it to the flight deck.
Yeah.
Cool. Otherwise, I guess the rest we have to wait until we get there. Do we want to do a counseling thing now en route, or do we not have time?
It's up to you guys. I'm cool on them.
I am down.
Well, also like narratively, if there's time between in flight. So.
There is depending on how fast you're going there. So it is. Let me get my warp chart. If you go, I believe your max speed's like 99 something. Like 0.99 something.
Can you go max speed in the Shackleton?
The Achilles can because it's acclimated to it because they've had a year to adjust for it.
Yeah, our max
at least in space that they're familiar with. But going slower means also that it's easier. The difficulty's lower for me to see things if they're anomalous. Sorry, my mistake. Your max cruise is like 0.97, 9.97.
Yeah.
So if you're at max, it will take about 12 hours. If you go warp 9, it'll take you about a day. So it depends how fast you want to hammer down or not.
I mean, this isn't a high urgency mission.
And normal cruise is 8, and that would take 2 days.
I think we'll have their normal cruise because, like, as far as can be determined, like we're here to do this, but we're not here to put strain on our engines necessarily to do this. There's no distress that we're aware of. So yeah.
So that would
go for it.
That would mean there are at least 2 days worth of counseling sessions available.
Okay, I'll take them.
As soon as crew's back on board, I'll say, On plot a course for the anomalous black hole. Warp 8.
That will be reason plus con. Difficulty of normally would be 3, but you're in fairly known space, so 2. Assisted by computers plus con. This is This is charting for any potential hazards that are in this region of space.
Pen, do you want to get Shishru?
Sure. Focus in either helm control or protocols.
Helm controls will work. Yeah. Oh, sorry, protocols. My bad. Protocols make more sense because you're doing that. Yep. Doy.
I'll spend a moment. The ship just crits.
Oh, because of her controls. Yep. Which means you get 2 momentum on my count.
Yep.
Yep. So Sister charts and accounts for the normal gravimetrical eddies, electromagnetic shears that exist naturally in the Shackleton, and just accounts for those for the course. And the black hole as much as you can. So you're not going to warp. Actually, that's a question for you. Is your target warp? How close to the warp to this black hole are you getting? Like what range?
Probably come out of warp at like extreme.
Okay.
And then judge conditions and proceed from there.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can always send probes to get in deeper.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're there for, people.
Mm-hmm. Course is set. You are ready to warp at your order.
At your leisure, Lieutenant. Proceed.
And away you warp. New scene as we cut down to medical. If I can find it. It's the one that says medical on it, GM. You labeled it and everything. There it is. Why is it so far down? Why did I put it there? Anyway. Boop.
You have too many rooms, obviously.
Tersay is not there anymore. Rook is on other duties. Aza, I presume you're going to be the counselor dealing with the main characters, as it were, or the senior officers, more narratively.
Of course.
There's 2 days that the illustrious Lieutenant Commander Aza can fit main characters in, because presumably there's a bunch of other officers who need the counselor's time. And just being the chief medical, the counselor also has to have for meetings like nurse meetings, doctor meetings, all that fun stuff. It's like, well, sometimes the chief counselor does set time aside. So the question becomes, who's on day 1?
I'm the one who brought it up, so perhaps I should go first.
Lieutenant Arlen.
Grudgingly here.
You're greeted by the medical staff, and they let you know that the counselor's waiting for you whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna take a minute to like freshen up, straighten my uniform, make sure, all right, I look presentable, clean that grease off my eye lapel.
Okay.
And
This is a doctor's meeting. This is not a fleet review, but whatever helps.
it's a doctor's meeting under order from the captain. And I enter.
Yeah, we've definitely got like some generic classical music playing, no musicals, and
Aw.
Aza sitting Yeah, you can come in.
Nothing that's under copyright.
Asia is definitely wearing like half moon glasses with a pad. Take a seat wherever you'd like, Lieutenant.
I'm gonna flop on that couch.
Okay. As you know, patient, doctor patient confidentiality is in play here. So long as you don't admit to wanting to harm yourself or others, I cannot and will not report anything you tell me here to anyone else. So I guess let's start at the beginning. Why did you come here today?
Sorry, I was thrown off that music was actually playing. I'm here because as ordered to because my behavior has become disruptive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have heard about the incident. Looking back on it, how does that make you feel about yourself?
I feel kind of disappointed in myself. I'm a lieutenant in Starfleet. I'm a department head on one of the premier airships of the fleet, and yet I can't control my impulses and my emotions. I feel like I should be better than this.
Right. Do you feel like there is something else you have to do to atone for your mistake, that you are still guilty in some way?
Nothing in particular, but I do have to make a show that I can do my job.
Why do you have
Everyone
to
else puts in 100%. I have to put in 120% to keep up.
Are you saying you don't think... What makes you say that, Lieutenant?
Well, if I can't keep up, and I can't present myself out to the needs of the ship, then I'm not going to be helping the ship, and I will be replaced. And I do want to be here, but I just have to keep fighting and to say that I can be here despite everything else.
Right. Do you think that other members of the crew don't have their own struggles, that we don't all slip and stumble sometimes, that you are not unique in your position?
I might not be unique in my position, but I'm the only one who can worry about my position.
Right. If I told you that there is no risk of you ever losing your job, would you walk out of this door? out of this room. You know what I meant.
Yeah. No, because I wouldn't believe you.
Believe me in what?
That you have the ability, or anyone has the ability to keep me in this position. If I'm a risk to the ship and crew, I shouldn't be on duty.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And if I'm not giving myself 120%, I might become a risk to the ship and crew. If I slip below that, I might do something silly, or impulsive, or reckless.
what are you worried about, Lieutenant?
Could you repeat the question?
You say you're afraid that if you don't give 120%, that something will happen. What are your what are your anxieties specifically about? That you will fail in your duties? That you will harm another? I just want to know what your exact fear is.
Not necessarily harm another. I'm not exactly a violent person. I'm usually pretty jovial, but I might get a silly impulse else in my head, and I act out on it, and I hurt someone or jeopardize the ship, or I irrevocably break something. Like I get an idea to overclock the engines, and I irreparably burn out the warp coils while we're 3 sectors away. Just because I wanted to see if I could. That impulse actually happens a lot. I constantly want to tweak the engines and improve efficiency and see how much power I can really get out of this. But because of the extra 20% I'm putting into my job, I'm able to hold off on that.
Well, why do you feel the need? Why? Let me rephrase. Where, in your estimation, do you think these thoughts and impulses come from? Is it just the attention deficit disorder, or is it something else?
I mean, it's that, but I've had that all my life, and this is just kind of the background noise of my existence. Just hearing and feeling those impulses and trying to ignore them.
Right.
And over
Well,
rationalizing my thoughts to stop the impulses is from becoming reality when they don't need to be.
right. Well, that I can treat. I do not have a magic wand to fix any insecurities you might have around your job. Unfortunately, it is still a fact of life that we will always be insecure about our jobs from time to time. I do, however, have many techniques we can employ to treat impulsive thoughts.
Well, it appears that the system I have been using has not been working, so let's try a different iteration.
I believe that is a roll of Control medicine. Difficulty 3. One leading, one assisting. The ship assists with computer plus medicine.
My music choice was that banger. All right, psychiatry for a focus.
Y'all.
All right, you said diff 4?
3.
3. Okay.
I mean, I
I'll
can make
let
it
you
4. I
lead.
have the threat. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to spend 1 threat and 2 momentum to roll 4 dice.
Oop.
What was the attribute?
Control.
Control. Okay.
Okay. Mathematically, I think we're pretty good here. Oop. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
You take 4 damage. Or maybe you do.
Arlen, no. So now I take the 4 stress. I overreaction myself right out of therapy.
All right. Can we spend how much momentum did we generate here?
2.
2 so far. We just need the ship to roll.
Apologies.
Yep, it's not on me.
Computers. There we go.
So you're spending your 2 to quash the complication?
Yes, please.
Okay. So my understanding of this was an attempt to curb the reckless trait, by the sound of it.
Yes.
That's what it sounded like. Okay, so what I'll do,
Yeah.
because of the success of this roll, I will treat it as on the acclaim table. It will cost 1 less to get rid of it,
Okay.
and that'll be a standing thing. Because one can presume that until it goes away, Asa and Arlen will kind of be working on this behind the scenes until it goes away.
Can I make another roll for positive reinforcement? That's the talent I have where
love
if I
that
make
talent.
all right. I think that fits if I'm literally giving him therapy right now.
Yeah, it's the most on point use of it. So
All
I
right.
think it's your diff, I believe. 'Cause I think
Yes,
it's static.
It's presence medicine diff 3 to make it happen. Could I spin you on either psychiatry or conversation as a focus?
Conversation I would take here, sure. Like as part of the
Okay.
conversation, you work in this positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's expressing some, anxieties and insecurities about his job. But I want to tell him that maybe that's not exactly how it really looks like. Or maybe things aren't exactly what you see them as. And I'll give you 3 threat to roll 4. I will re-roll that. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Are you determined to make
Okay.
this?
All right. Okay. Okay, I want to give Arlen a trauma in his first therapy session. So can I spin you on sometimes you have to help people who won't help themselves on the grounds that Arlen isn't coming here to me to work on his insecurities, but I'm trying to help him work on that while we're working on his recklessness. The best I got.
I'll take it, yeah.
All right, so can
I
I
see what you're
roll?
driving at.
Can I re-roll the comp and the 2 then, or and the 0?
Yep. You can
Yeah.
roll as many d20s.
Okay, all right, we're good.
So Arlen, please describe to Arlen what exactly cool thing he has now.
Okay. Success creates a personal advantage for your patient that lasts until the end of the session. In addition, In addition to the normal effects of the trait, which is positive reinforcement, that character can re-roll their dice pool as if they'd spent a point of determination once before the end of the mission.
Oh, so I
They're
get
all-
like a free pool reroll.
Essentially, yeah.
And you have a standing advantage linked to this reinforcement until
Mhm.
I think it's when you try to re-roll and you fail, then it poofs.
Yeah, I just posted the text exactly.
Yep. And that is on you for the rest of the session, I believe. Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Is there anyone who wishes to meet with the counselor in day 2? Or is it another early meeting?
It depends how my conversation with Varder went, I feel like.
Well, we can cut to that and come back here because we are at 0 momentum, so it's not like it hurt
Like-
anything.
Maybe the conversation means I
Yeah.
need therapy. It's like
Exactly. it might. It might. It depends on what we get into.
You're optimistic, I see.
Let's scene shift here briefly because this is a good time as any to check on that. This is a flashback a bit to when before the Achilles shipped out, but they were still prepping to go, and Captain Vire was finally able to get a word in with Thralic, because Thralic went from being arrested to being briefed to being told to get the ship underway. So that, but there is a window of time where Varder and Thralic can kind of meet up and discuss certain matters.
Just finish the briefing for the mission we're about to go on, I think.
Yeah, it's like I just showed up to brief you about your next mission, and it's like, and while I have you, and you don't need to disappear.
Right. This
Hi.
is why I end up never taking leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that feeling with you well, given our time aboard the Kismet.
Yeah. So, Captain. It's been a while.
It has. Now I've got one of two questions. Do you know where Pend stashes the alcohol in his office, or do you have any that you've already stashed in here while he's gone?
You see several
Walk
bottles
over.
on a and over there.
Oh yeah, it's like blatantly obvious, but he's like,
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say that these are his, and I'm gonna walk over here actually and grab some Andorian ale.
It was definitely you've got a choice. I mean, it's yours or his, but
Yeah. Grab a bottle, put it on the desk. So,
take a seat.
grab a couple glasses out from under the desk.
I'm gonna roll a single challenge die.
That's always
It tastes good at
obvious.
least.
All right.
So, Commander. Weird to say that. I think the last time we actually saw each other, you were Lieutenant Commander still? No.
I'd just been promoted to lieutenant commander and about to take this post.
I was still. No, I was Lieutenant Commander still at that point. Actually.
Right. I just caught up, and now you've gone raced ahead of me again, sir.
You don't need to drop the title every time now. It is just the two of
Yeah.
us here. But that is what I get for running off after everyone and everything in a tiny little ship for the last few years.
Eventually, Starfleet takes notice.
So it would seem. And what about yourself? From everything I've been able to read. And they have tried to black text some stuff from me, even. It's been quite interesting.
Oh, I'm surprised. But yes, it's been an eventful 6 years now? At first we were just, out here exploring, setting up a render station again after it had been reclaimed. But the last while, after shifting back universes and, well, all this deal with psionics, as Ensign Ven did something that I'm afraid I still don't fully understand. Well, it's been eventful.
I don't think he fully understands either.
No. I've also had to grapple with the fact that my father hid some Anar heritage from me.
I did know about that.
Why am I not surprised?
You know me,
Indeed.
and you know who I know, which is an ever-growing list of people.
There's always
After
someone who owes
leave,
you
I
a
do
favor.
have to go for a meeting with the Federation. Well, if this one owes me a favor, then I've done something, hopefully magnificent, but I need to go to a meeting with the Federation president
Hmm.
about some
How long
other
till I should be
black
calling you
files.
Admiral?
A long time, I hope. I sincerely hope. Now, it's come to my attention that you do remember some of the recent events that have gone on, or at least you're aware of them to an extent.
I don't personally remember them. Captain Penn debriefed me on them because of necessity to execute some disciplinary action against Lieutenant Arlen. He almost fried Ensign Ven's brain when we were in this sub-thought or sub-ocean layer of reality.
It was something. I'm in the weird predicament of I would love to tell you more, but I can't. I mean, you
Oh.
are presumably aware of my responsibility in your lack of memory. Unless he neglected to tell you that, but I feel like Pend has. And if not, I have. Congratulations. I don't like
Yes.
keeping secrets from you.
Appreciate
You
it.
in particular, given we had one particularly odd personal experience.
Frog will just nod.
I never knew Faro. I'd never met him, I'd never heard of him. So I was quite shocked to find out that I had a half Vulcan? Was he half Vulcan or was
I think he was a-
Vulcan? I forget.
I think he was a quarter Vulcan. He was never very clear on it, though.
Quarter Vulcan.
Yeah, I distinctly remember that he
who had
was
apparently
quarter
started-
Vulcan because it was like a whole thing about how it was the smaller part of who he was, but it was the part that he resonated with the most.
It was the part he was projecting the most at that point in time,
Yeah.
at least.
Yes. Point is, Varro never spoke about himself well with Varner. He was just like,
Mhm,
I am
mhm.
here. I am omnipotent. Say hi to my goddaughter for me. It's like, the fuck are you? I never did apologize for not telling you about that sooner. It was... Well, I'm sure you can agree, not something anyone really knows how to bring up. Hi, your dead significant person in your life has attached their spirit to mine, and I don't know why or how, but hello. Also, you follow my orders now.
I can see how that conversation would have been difficult.
To say the least. and now he's forever a part of Kershowans and forever a part of, well, forever. However long I'm alive, these bones are part of me.
Hmm. So you still got a ghost.
Many, as it happens.
That must be a strange experience.
For a brief moment, Throlic, you have this sense of many whispers radiating off of Varder, and they quiet themselves.
She will visibly react to that, I think. It's like eyebrows go up and antenna like straighten out.
And for a brief second, you see in Varder's eyes, there's a almost like static sparks going away from the center eye, from the iris.
Still getting used to this attunement, I guess. It's not what I'm familiar with from my childhood. We discussed the ANR on Andoria. There aren't very many of them, but they did reemerge.
They exist.
Yeah.
They exist.
They're mostly telepaths.
They were never directly relevant. Yeah.
And I definitely can't
Curious,
sense
'cause
thoughts,
that's
but I can sense a lot of other stuff.
Partially it is thought, but it's not as direct as what I might do or what others might do. You're catching hints and whispers and forethoughts. It comes together in a rather strange manner. I'm by far not the right person to teach you. I do highly suggest you find someone who can train you. Get some guidance, get some experience. Well, experience. You've got plenty of that.
She'll kind of fold her arms, just be like, okay, who has experience in this? Your midnight watch comrades?
Well, yes, actually. Which I get the feeling you've got some disdain for.
Not particularly. They just never quite say what they mean.
That's true. There's things we have to talk around.
Hmm.
But when it comes to conflicts, they can be rather straightforward. It's, well, if you've ever spoken to someone who's terribly excited about what they're talking about, it's that. And those kind of people do often make the best teams. If they're genuinely interested in what they're talking about.
Right. I'll try to stop in at the
And
location on the station the next time we're docked.
I promise they're not going to. I promise they're not going to try and indoctrinate you. We do have a thing
Lieutenant.
against that.
Hmm. That's good to know.
Was that you reminding me of the second tenant?
No, that's in line. You're in line with the second tenant. Was what I was agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I
Okay.
swear I wasn't preaching it.
You will do it, or else. Hold on.
I'll admit that wasn't precisely my fear, but it's good to be allayed regardless.
No, but with things that have been going on with you, been playing with fire but not quite burned yet.
Sounds like a
And
warning.
It is.
Right.
I have found you to always be a reliable and confident mind amongst everything else going on, no matter whatever else is going on.
Thank you.
and I want that to continue. I would like to see you continue, regardless of what you might find out there and whatever's thrown against you. And there are now things that you will be more susceptible to.
Frank will slowly
So you will
nod.
need to be strong of mind, strong of heart, strong of body, for both yourself and your crew. Which is, ironically, your job as a second officer, or first officer, not second officer. First officer, anyway. Even more so when you're taking full command of the vessel in the absence of Captain Kent.
Yes. This ship and this crew are always my responsibility, but never more so than now.
Don't let responsibility to them weaken yourself. And I don't mean that to say leave them behind. The ship needs you as much as you need the ship.
Station operations to Captain Barter.
Excuse me. Taps the badge. This is Captain Barter. Go ahead.
Your presence is requested at operations.
I'll be there in just a moment.
Aye, sir.
He's going to reach into his pocket and set down a black badge on the table. I know you don't want to use it, but if you come across something that you need an answer to, you can reach me through that.
She'll pick it up and kind of look at it for a moment. And then palm it
Start
away.
Commitment.
Alright. I'll try and keep an open mind. Unless that's one of the things I
Hopefully
shouldn't
that's
do.
You should and shouldn't in equal measure. Use
Oh,
your best
good.
judgment, and you have plenty of that. Hope to
Alright.
see you soon. If you find any of these smugglers, well, hopefully that'll find its way to my desk, and hopefully you don't run across any of the slavers I was chasing down, but do keep that in mind. Nasty little bastards they are.
Right. Well, if we do, I'm pretty sure we can take them. The question is delicacy in that event.
Indeed. Good hunting, Cap.
Thank you. To you as well.
You're
She'll reach across, shake hand type deal.
Oh yeah, never mind. Do that first.
Yeah.
And then... So probably was taking a step back, was like, there's a hand, never mind.
Yeah.
Flip back to current day. There is one counselor role we can do. We won't have a scene for it, but we can attack a trauma if someone wishes to attack it.
Please, I have so many.
See, I didn't give you a frolic, a trauma. I was just cryptic. Repeatedly.
Yeah. You know. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I didn't even spend any threat, and that's not a good sign. I mean, that's not a bad sign. Wait. Yes, both of those
He was
are true.
cryptic in the most cryptic in the most direct way he can be, but there's so much shit.
If you're down for tackling one of mine, counselor, I would leave it to you as to which one you want to tackle.
Okay. Yeah, so let's make like a moving let's make like a moving company and unpack.
All of this.
So the
Okay.
patient has superior officers trauma and melee threats trauma.
Yes.
Superior officers and melee. Okay. What are the levels on both of those?
The melee is trauma 2. The superior officers is trauma 3.
Do you have a strong preference, Ven? Well, okay, well, let me ask you this. Would Ven go to her saying, I would like to work on this? Or are we just going to work on whatever we happen to talk about?
I think Ven would probably give her an overall like view of what's going on with him, because he's
Mhm.
you know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Mhm.
And would very much leave it up to you in terms of like, okay, well, let's tackle this first. Like,
I will add, even if he doesn't, but I'll add for 2 because this does complicate life. So he does have some traits that are not terribly good for him, such as he made the one reality wish, so he has had Q powers. He snapped his fingers once, and that is transformative on most psyche, and it's something that Starfleet actually has some documentation on because it happens. Not precisely that power, but something of that hyperspatial power. Secondly, he apparently is having dreams, sometimes waking dreams of a gate of resin covered over in ice. And lastly, not so much an issue, but it's a thing that's probably bothering him a little bit. It's just it may be something that will distract him or help him. It seems to cut both ways in my head. He has a crush on Ensign Bailey, apparently, so that's news to me.
oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, let's unpack that.
Sorry.
What's your relationship like with your
right.
mother?
Because that's something that he now is able to completely explain to you, because that's right. This is something he found out about during his time away. He has a fiance that he didn't know about,
Right.
and like he just found out about that. Like, how long ago was his time on the Gungnir? Like a week?
A week or so ago, I imagine. Yeah, a few days, within the month, easily.
Yes.
Well, you guys spent like a month on the station, the post. What do you call it? The listening post.
I don't think it was that long.
Okay. If that's okay.
Yep. So that's
All
also
right.
something that he's like, yeah. It is a lot to unpack.
So it depends what you're targeting, because those are all different difficulties.
Yep. All right, here's what I'm doing. Superior officers is 1. Melee is 2. Trait 3. /R 1d3 2. All right, we're working on your melee trauma.
That means it's trauma 2. That makes it a diff 3. Presence medicine, assisted by computer's medicine, and the patient can assist with presence medicine as well.
Am I rolling presence medicine, or I thought I was rolling control medicine?
You're rolling Oh, you're right. It would be control. You're the medical person. You're right. Yep.
Okay,
Really?
focus in psychiatry.
Y'all.
Focus in. If only I had a focus in knives, we could do exposure therapy. Focus in.
No! No!
Focus
And
in
dodge!
psychiatry.
Sorry, say again.
Focus in psychiatry.
Yes.
Okay, 3 threat.
Knives. Think fast. That's ranged combat, not the same thing.
I don't know why it rolled twice. I might have hit the button twice.
Yeah.
Take the first one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 3, that's 4, so we get 1 momentum.
Yep.
And then the ship computer's medicine, right?
Y'all.
Yeah,
Only
well,
if
maybe.
the captain wants to help.
Computers, medicine. There we go.
There you go.
Way I would think about this is definitely some combination on research beforehand and picking like person appropriate sounds. Like maybe if we're dealing with the human Bajoran, I'll try to find like Bajoran classical music or something to make them feel the most at ease.
Mm.
And can I also give him the insightful guide, the positive reinforcement? That's not a once per session thing, I don't think.
You just have to make the roll, I believe. Yeah,
Oh
I
no, it does say once per mission you may attempt. Okay.
Oh, okay. So you can only give someone a pep speech once.
Okay.
Which is fine, because we're not doing a whole scene for this, so...
Mhm.
Yeah, you are able to help with that trauma, which is good.
Mhm. And yeah, she's going to recommend that you come back frequently because she knows there's a lot. It's like you've moved into a new house. You have a lot of things to unpack.
Man, you're gonna throw a lot of unpacking metaphors at me, aren't you?
Well, there's other packing metaphors, but those aren't safe for stream, so.
Yeah.
So on that happy note, we fast forward to the Achilles arriving at the extreme range band of the target anomaly. Assuming I put is that extra one close, medium, long, extreme. Yeah, I'm right. I have it in the right spot on my map.
If only we could see that map.
Well, you haven't done a sensor scan, so I'm not showing you nothing.
Hmm.
I need to know where
Well-
you are. That's the important part.
Life forms, do-do-do-do, you tiny little life forms.
Alright. Drop out warp. We'll say, Ensign Ven, get me a scan of the immediate area.
Yes, Commander. And then we'll do the thing.
Lieutenant Rylov, monitor local communication channels, see if you're picking up anything.
Wait, did I do that right? I was right the first time. Oh God. Okay. So, first off, we'll deal with the sensor sweep. Reason plus. Actually, I'm gonna bunch these together because this works. Reason plus science. Difficulty of your mum. Difficulty of 1 second. That's the wrong table. Try again. There we
Do
go.
do 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 do.
Bup. So that. Yeah. Reason plus science, difficulty 3, assisted by sensors plus science. The one who is monitoring for comms traffic can assist with reason engineering.
Okay, science. Astrophysics focus.
Yes.
Buying a die with momentum. Oh, nope. I'm not gonna re-roll anything. Exactly where I want.
Ship assist? Nope.
Nope.
Comms assist.
Like, I'll...
Reason engineering for whoever's checking comms.
believe
Arlen, you
Rylov
want to do
wanted
that?
to do that.
Well, Rylov is BRB'd,
Oh, yeah, I could do it.
which I did not realize when I said that.
Reason, engineering. I'm just assisting. Focus in Starfleet protocols for how to handle the radio.
I'll take it because you're dealing with primarily, as far as you're aware, primarily Federation targets.
Okay.
We know that's who's officially supposed to be in the region.
Yeah.
Look, I'm helping.
Pardon me, God. So I need to check something. Wait. I'm doing this the hard way. There's an easier way to do what I'm doing. Isn't there? Yes. Unless I deleted it, at which point I'm going to be sad. Because it's a cool token, and I might have gotten rid of it. Shoot. Hold on. My Roll20 interface has gotten a little more finicky in the last few months, so bear with me a moment.
Never.
I could just use my pre-bought ones because that might be faster than what I'm doing. I did delete that. Damn. Oh well. That was a nice token. Oh well. But I didn't think I was gonna need it in the near future. I was wrong. Boop. You can detect the black hole on sensors. It seems to be emanating from this central gravitational point. You're at extreme to it, so you did warp. You did in fact warp to the correct area. You do notice that there is a scale 4 craft that is medium range to the black hole and does not seem to be able to escape its gravitational pull.
Ah, well. All right then.
Wait, no. Is that what I'm doing? Hold on. Sorry, I might be wrong. That's
okay.
what it appears to be at first, but sensor scans, the detailed sensor scan shows that they are. It almost looks like they're struggling to stay falling to it, but it's more like they're maintaining. They're in that little envelope where you disappear. So if you're within most stuff, if they're within this range band, within medium range of the black hole, they disappear to long range, extreme range sensors like listening posts. And even at your range, it was a roll to see them at all. You wouldn't have, even if you got success at succeed at cost, that wouldn't have seen them. So they're sort of cloaked by virtue of their proximity to the black hole. Their shields aren't on, their weapons aren't on, but if they were, that if you were trying to hide, those would give you away because it increases your energy signature when you're armed.
Right. Lieutenant Rylov, Ensign Van coordinate on a tactical analysis of the vessel in close proximity to the black hole. See if it matches signatures for any of the vessels that are supposed to be in this area according to Federation and Klingon databases.
Yes, Commander.
Yes, Captain.
What kind of gravimetric shear would that ship be under?
Within, depending on its model, given its scale, it can withstand it as long as it doesn't get to close range. Because the structural integrity fields increase to full, plus adjusting your ship in such a way that you're making sure the parts of the ship that can handle it are pointed at the shear or along the shear. Then they can kind of brace for it. It's not being this close is something you have to do. You'd have to do this on purpose to make it safe. You wouldn't want to do this by accident, because then it's like someone pushing you. If you're walking in a straight line and someone just suddenly shoved you from the side, that's a lot harder to deal with than someone's next to you trying to push you.
So, they're braced for the position. They're doing this on purpose, and this isn't like a tentative position that they're struggling against.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is someone who knows what they're doing.
Hopefully.
Was gonna be diff 3, but you did some checking earlier in the database, so it's down to 2. Sensors or computers, I suppose, plus con off the ship.
Testing a theory into practice.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Reason.
Oh wait, it's con. I don't think that procs it.
It has to be a science roll, probably, don't it?
I mean, you can probably just ask Shishrei to do
I
it.
believe it does, because it has to be a science or engineering theory.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Just,
Oh well.
what's your con score there, Chief?
Um,
Or what's your
only
total?
2, but my reason is 11.
We have the same score.
I feel like we've been here before. I feel like we've
I mean, I've
had
got a
this
9 and a 3,
conversation many
but yeah.
times before.
Maybe. Do you want me to identify it, and me to lead and you potentially assist with science, or you to lead and me potentially assist with security?
It depends. do you have a relevant Oh, we might all have a focus. 'Cause
Investigative
strategy
techniques.
and tactics.
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to note on sensors. My mistake.
Oh.
Sorry, because you did make the roll. But this is a roll it's not a new ship. It's a astronomical contact.
Yeah.
You'll see what I mean in a moment once I put it on screen here. Feel free to resolve that roll. Just know that there's another thing I'm going to be adding here.
Yeah.
I just want to give you a heads up so I didn't just drop it on you.
I probably have a focus with, I'm guessing, investigative techniques.
Well, I think we might both have a focus because
Yep.
strategy and tactics.
Potentially. I do also have paranoid. I don't know if that's going to hurt me or help me yet. Potentially. But I am paranoid.
It will increase your comp range if you're the
It'll
main
increase
roller.
my comp range.
Oh, hell, even if you're
That's-
assisting, it'll up it because it's your
It'll
thing that's
up
screwing
my
with you.
personal comp range, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll lead this.
Okay. Might I assist with security then, GM?
Yes.
I will take a momentum for a third die. Do I have a focus for strategy and tactics?
Yes. Is that correct? Do I have the right thing set up? Oh, wait, I know I do. Do I?
Cool.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a lot of crits.
Nice. Spend 2 to quash. We still generate 3 momentum.
For your failure.
New astronomical contact in the apparent, but perhaps not, event horizon of this anomaly, upon which, if it were a true black hole, then it would be crushing the crap out of it, or spaghettifying it, actually, more aptly. There is a planetoid,
Oh, wild. Okay.
which your sensors almost don't detect due to the fact that your sensor readings are basically being ganked into the gap of into the black hole-esque anomaly.
Oh, and because I do get
we see it while we're staring at this. It's like, oh wait.
It's like, oh, is that a smudge on the sensor thing? Is it? No, that's there. What the hell is that?
So based on that being that role, do I get my free question from science officer?
Because it involves the sensor systems or the computer systems, yes.
Okay. What kind of am I getting any indicator of what class of planetoid this is? Is
The
this
roll wasn't for the planet.
I'll attach that to his first roll because that is something I forgot to
Okay.
say.
Okay.
I was like, oh right, there's something supposed to be there. Doy. This would be, I think it's class Y. I'm fairly certain it's class Y.
Class you
double
don't
check.
want to be there?
Demon
Is that what
world.
class Y is?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say it's
class
a
you don't
demon
want to be
world,
there.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm not wrong.
Demon World was class K.
No.
Okay. Well,
I was gonna say,
I'll hand in my Trekkie badge before the end of the session.
Class
Because
Class
I
K
think-
is this is okay.
I think class K is the one where it's like
It's
getting-
livable, but you need like a pressure dome.
Oh, that's probably why I thought. Okay.
It's like you can't just settle down a homestead. It's like no, you need like a facility.
Mars.
Yeah, that That is a Class Y planet.
Okay. Commander, also detecting within the event horizon a Class Y planetoid.
Yeah, that's a class. Why is that there?
Haha.
Starships. And as for the ship that you identified, that ship in particular that you were scanning for is in fact the U.S.S. Sundown.
Oh, that is the Andorian heavy assault ship.
Yup. Armament and capability, I will get to you in a moment. Just have to grab its
Okay.
effective stats.
Captain, I don't believe Andorians have a particular history of black hole surfing. I know your people like dangerous things, but this seems a bit excessive.
Agreed, Lieutenant. I think that discussion with the captain of that ship is in order.
Besides singularities are a Romulan thing.
Oh, hey, that's useful. That one. That one. And I'm going to give you a copy of its sheet here in a moment.
All right.
Well, that's incorrect. Boop. Not that, but...
Oh man, so much typing.
Yep.
That's how you know it's good.
That's the only thing that would drive me nuts on LCARs. Everything's touch screens. I mean, there's probably, whatchamacallit, membranes and tactile
Yeah.
feedback and stuff, so you're not just blind typing, but still. I know it would drive me nuts. I like mechanical keyboards, as everyone can hear.
Get an implant, plug yourself in directly. There you go. You can imagine you're touching a keyboard.
Yeah.
Just out of morbid curiosity, what's the approximate Earth mass of that planetoid? Is it comparable to Earth? Is it Jovian size, Mars size, poor little Pluto size?
I don't know how it's morbid to ask that.
What's a Jovian in this context?
Jupiter.
Oh, I I was going to say, did you introduce a new planet I wasn't aware of called Jove?
That's the
Jove.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like the
it's-
technical term for things belonging to Jupiter.
It is. Oops, sorry. It is approximately Earth size, give or take a few numbers here or there, but it's within that band of size.
Okay. So
Alright.
approximately 1G.
But again, I'm not sure how that's a morbid curiosity.
Just
like-
because I like astrophysics?
But that doesn't make it morbid.
Has nothing to do with death.
Not,
Not
yet.
yet.
That's
Go
the
down
bit
there and say
that's
hi.
throwing me. What's the morbid part of that curiosity?
Now,
I'm gonna go ahead.
From the traits Andorian and military family, what do I know about this ship? Or what might I know about this ship?
Give me insight con difficulty 1 because of that. Actually, you said military family and Andorian.
And Andorian.
I'll knock it down to 0. I'll let you generate some momentum just by sheer your character would know of the because this is one of the traditional naval ships. So
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
Focus in military history.
yeah,
Alright.
Your uncle's on it.
It's possible. Alright.
your
generate
uncle's a
3.
naval officer. It's like, I
Weird
don't see-
insult. Yes, and I'm proud of it.
Someone had to.
Re-verifying that class Ys can be that big. I'm pretty sure they can, but I want to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm not full of crap.
Yeah, they can.
Because
Uh,
class Y is mostly an atmospheric thing.
Yeah, 0.5 to 1.5. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Wanted to make sure I wasn't outside my range.
Isn't Venus technically class Y?
It would be, I think.
Yeah. This is just Venus.
No, Venus
Black
is a
hole
different
Venus.
class because
Oh,
you
is
can.
it?
Yep, I think Venus is a K or something like that. Why
the
is
surface
why is you
of
can't put
Venus
anything
is surface of Venus melts metal.
Yeah. That's why I was
Hmm.
like, I'm pretty sure that's just you die.
For some reason, I thought it was a planet that you could put something on in the Star Trek verse, but I may be wrong.
You can put stuff in the atmosphere of Venus. There's like floating colonies on Venus, I believe.
That's why it's Class K. Because Class Y, the storms are so it's so chaotic that you can't build anything there because there's no accounting for the dangers. Whereas
Right.
Venus is stable enough that you can go, look, we can't build on the surface, but we can build in the atmosphere. We can build somewhere
fair
within the atmosphere. Whereas Class Y is like, you don't build anything here. If anything, it's a fun thing to study from a distance, but don't you dare go down there.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what? To be safe, don't build an orbital thing either. There might be lightning that reaches into space.
Yeah. So
Or
yeah,
solar
the
flares or...
Yeah.
yeah. So this starship,
or a black hole.
did I already check for this? I did not. Oop. So its original mission was to be a VIP transport for like the Admiralty or senior officials. Like it was meant as a sort of escort in arms sort of thing, like an armed escort type ship, and as part of a larger fleet if it needed it. But on its own, it could defend and move around VIPs where needed. Sometimes used as a meeting place itself. However, you remember this ship was refitted several times since then, because this is an old ship. Well, this is actually this isn't old. This isn't ancient. It's from an era. It's a sort of, well, actually, it's old. It's about 100, somewhere within 100 years old, because it was used in that era of Starfleet history. as a auxiliary ship for Andorian naval officers and personnel. So it's supposed to be part of the home fleet. However, you recall that ship was rendered derelict and back home, so it shouldn't be in service. Because that's the last you heard of it. That it had been made derelict, and it was one of those debates on Andoria of like, do we bother repurposing it and repairing it, or do we just scrap it and make a new ship? Because it's 100 years old. Like, why bother at this point?
Yeah.
And it isn't historical in that sense. It's more of it's
Yeah, I was gonna
historic in the
say,
fact
like-
it's old. But it's like we might keep it as a museum piece, but are we going to bother? This isn't the Enterprise. This isn't
Yeah,
the.
did it do anything notable enough for it to be a museum piece? Not really. Let's just scrap it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But off the top of your head, this thing wasn't assigned anywhere to any sort of Shackleton thing. Like no one, because that would have been a big deal if it was.
Okay, Mystery Andorian ship.
Lieutenant Rylov, be prepared to, but hold off on raising shields. It's possible we're looking at a commandeered ship. That thing shouldn't be anywhere near here unless it's on some form of a secret deployment, and even then, why use a ship that's 109 years old?
Deniability, Captain?
Getting it out here is going to take forever. You can't refit a ship like that to be like warp 9 capable.
This is true.
Well, you can get up to warp 9, and that's it.
Yeah.
The standard for most modern ships is 9.5.
Yeah.
If you can't do 9.5 in your ship, you're not a proper naval ship anymore in the 80s. Even Californias can go that fast.
Yeah. Are there any communications coming to or from the ship?
Yes. That's why Rylov's role was relevant.
Lieutenant, see if you can parse what they're saying.
Yes, Captain.
For momentum, I will tag on to that because they are not encrypting it.
Yeah.
What would it take to refit a ship like that for Shackleton Expedition? That's a different role. Actually, momentum. I could, because there was a roll on its con through the captain. Transmitting now what the ship is saying.
So what do your Romulan ears hear? Um, It appears that they are aware we are here, Captain. First communication was that they're standing by, that the Sundown is standing by for pickup, which seems to be an unlikely rendezvous location. They're presently requesting updated instruction, and then the message repeats. Sundown standing by for pickup. New sensor contact detected. Achilles class. Please advise.
Acknowledged.
To answer the follow-up question Arlen threw into Discord, you can make it a separate check, or it would be at the. I don't know what the momentum count is at the moment. It's at 2. You could answer the question of what it would take.
That was with assuming that Arlen had spent that.
Oh, okay.
So,
So a refit of a ship would take, for Shackleton expedition use, would require at least, for that scale, reliably 4 months if you're in a rush too. But really, if you wanted to take your time about it and do it properly, it would take 4 to 8 months. Because you'd have to bring everything up to current code plus reinforcing it for Shackleton use.
Yeah. Are they transmitting audio or audio-visual, Lieutenant? Or text?
Let me see.
Momentum. It is, assuming you're spending it.
Yeah.
It is text only.
All right.
Text transmissions, Captain.
Right. This would
Given that-
seem to fit the bill of the prospective smugglers in the area, then.
It is suddenly suspicious enough to give warrant. But a
Agreed.
option comes to mind, Captain. They're actively transmitting. The signal is repeating. If we were potentially if we deployed shuttles to 2 other locations, or sensor probes even, shuttles are not necessary, we could potentially triangulate the destination, or at least the line of travel for this communication.
A good thought. Ensign Ven, execute on that.
Yes, Commander.
Deploy a couple probes so we can get a track on that signal.
So, I believe security fires the probes and science does the looking. Think how that
Sure.
goes.
I never remember which order that is, so it makes sense.
The probes are torpedoes.
Yeah. So
I believe.
I'll modify that to fire probes, and
Yep.
then I'll say Ensign Ven do that.
For how often tactical and science have to work together.
Mhm,
We're on opposite
mhm.
sides of the bridge.
Yeah. Well, when you have science and tactical working together, you want them to have to shout across the room.
Um. Now, GM, I do have a question. This wasn't specifically part of the orders, but 1, I'm paranoid. 2, I'm a Romulan. Could I potentially deploy these in a manner that doesn't look like we're trying to do what we're doing? Like it's we're just deploying these like we would do to look for at a black hole anomaly thing. Just
I would up the difficulty by 1 to add
Yeah.
that extra layer of subterfuge.
yeah. I'm entirely fine with that. 4, let's go. It just makes sense to me. But also I am paranoid.
Comp.
Hey, it makes
I
sense
don't-
to me too.
I want. Yeah, comp increase. Yeah.
Okay. Arguably, guerrilla tactics for what they're doing seems to be in line with that, and this is a counter to that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
4. None of those, but I will. I didn't open that. Why didn't I open that? I am a genius. How many of these do you have? 1. Okay, I'll give you 3 threat. 3? 3. Yeah. I had to mentally double check just then. That was weird. Nice.
The probes are fired in such a way as it looks like a standard survey.
Nice. Oh my god, that's a lot of momentum. I'm sorry.
What adds to the deception is that you're making them move in a sweeping pattern at long range, so it looks like you're just being thorough in examining the gravimetric sphere influence of the anomaly. But you're also putting them that they just so happen to be in perfect triangulation range of each other.
Mm-hmm. Which
Yeah,
might
no, this is the
also-
ultimate, my troops are just passing by type move. Because what else would a probe be doing from a Starfleet ship but scanning the very unique stellar phenomenon right outside our door?
Also, there's
Do-do-do-do-do.
the potential
Alright.
that we might, as far as they're concerned, we might not have seen them yet because we're on the opposite side of a singularity, and perhaps not looking for them. Could I make that an advantage actually with 2 of the momentum?
You
That
could, yeah.
This adds to that illusion of things.
You could, yeah.
Reasonably, they can guess this would pick them up, but until this point, which gives them more communication time, so we can actually do the thing we wanted to do. Listen, I'm being stuck.
Question is raised to Reason Science difficulty 2, assisted by Comms Science to help triangulate where that signal is going.
Okay, testing a theory into practice this time.
Yes'm. Oh, yeah. I mean, technically no, but I'll say yes because it makes sense. Because technically it's not the computer or the science station, but whatever. It's close enough for me.
Okay. Sensor ops? Or was this communications? Forget.
It's using the communication system to look
Ops.
for it, but you're using the science of it to triangulate, so.
Okay, so no to sensor ops focus. That's fine.
No. Yeah.
That's fine. Still spending 2 momentum for a 3rd die. No, sorry, 4th die.
Okay.
And I get to reroll that comp.
Ben!
And here's the ship.
Security crushing science, as it should be.
Ship almost comp. That was a 19.
Be glad that wasn't the ship assisting Rylov. That would have been a comp.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the assist for Rylov was almost a crit, and the assist for Ben was almost a comp. It's really taking wild swings here.
Commander,
Report?
I don't know why I'm surprised by this, but the target of these transmissions appears to be a location on the planet's surface.
Alright.
Oh, and 2 bonus momentum. Time to ask questions.
Why did the joke, why do we have to go down there, become a reality?
Mm-hmm.
Does this location appear to be some kind of like a facility? Is it you say it's a location on the planet. Is it like a ship on the planet? Is it a full-on installation?
That's your question?
Yeah, that's my free question.
Oh, alright.
Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, it appears to be some kind of a facility. How big?
That's a
I'll burn one of
question.
my- Yep, I'll burn one of my 2 bonus.
Can't spell, but you know what I mean. There we go.
He'll spout off some number that to you all equivalents out to a scale 3.
Right.
So actually a reasonable sized facility on the planet's surface. Of course. Is it on the planet's surface or is it like in between? Did you get that?
Ah,
Is that a-
yes. If that is, I will ask that question.
Or is it underground?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Actually, Rylov, it's just the opposite. They got around the planet volatility problem not by going up, but by going
By
down.
going down, yeah. Which doesn't explain why they're in the middle of a black hole, but I suppose small
No.
steps.
Unless perhaps it's somehow projected?
Yes, the black hole is actually just a massive holographic projection from the planet.
I doubt it's a hologram, but it could be artificial.
I was being optimistic.
I mean, it could also be artificial based on the fact that it appeared out of nowhere.
Sorry.
Well, wait. I mean, I'm trying to remember because it was a couple weeks ago. Didn't Ven determine that it's quite likely that this black hole
Artificial.
is artificial in nature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that would align with the sensor readings that I picked up on the outpost. It could be that this facility's entire purpose is to generate this black hole to act as a cover for something.
That seems excessive.
Ensign, how difficult was it to pick up this black hole at a distance?
And Ven's going to start rattling off the numbers. If I remember correctly, it was a really high difficulty to spot it. It was like diff 6.
I would just like to point out that the Romulan pointed out that something might be excessive in the manner of attempting to obscure yourself, which I can't think of a bigger example of throwing rocks in a glass house.
Yes, and
You know, I just pointed it out.
listen, we
here's the
use
thing.
singularities
It's not
to power
paranoia
our
if it's
cloaking
true.
devices.
I
We
was
don't
going to
use the
say-
singularity to actually physically cloak a thing.
See,
Right.
Counselor, you seem to think that Rylov cares if he's being hypocritical.
I do
Oh.
not, because Romulans are superior in all ways.
That you know, you got me there. You got me there.
While I was just being
Lieutenant Arlen, Ensign Ven, make an analysis of this singularity to see if its artificial nature might be emanating from the planet in some degree.
Captain, as something perhaps worth mentioning, it's a black hole artificially created. One, that's something my people have experience with, and two, we happen to have a Romulan scientist aboard.
Right. Of course, coordinate with Telora.
Aye, sir.
Hey, Arlen, help me out with this. I'm patching in the ship's astrophysics library into our tactical readouts of this facility, seeing if I can't cross-reference and determine if the readings I found are consistent with the artificial generation patterns that
If
we
you want,
project.
if you need extra resolution, and I could patch some extra power into the sensors so we can get more detail.
Maybe, but we don't want to spike our power too much. It might tip them off.
Captain, your thoughts?
I think that Frolic has actually gone over to coordinate with Rylov about pinching the smugglers while you two are working on this.
Okay.
Or whatever they are, assumed smugglers at this time.
Yeah, assume smugglers. But right now, Frolic's gonna like be over here coordinating. Like, okay, so if the idea of these being smugglers is correct, let's take a look at recent data trends and security logs in this area. See what's being smuggled and to where.
Could be a long list, but we'll work it down.
You actually kind of know the answer of this from briefings. The suspect in last session it was revealed that there was various weaponry materials for weaponry, as well as durasteel, which is used primarily in Starship and very well fortified buildings. Like you don't build habitats out of durasteel, you just build it out of regular steel or plasteel, because it's cheaper and lighter. Durasteel is heavy, you need tractor beams to move it around, you need special tools if you want it to be on a planet, so normally it's something you use in space. So that's the those are the things that are being smuggled out here. But nothing it's not like torpedoes per se, it's like the parts for a torpedo. In separation, which is technically legal unless you can lasso them all as a sort of a RICO sort of sense of, well, if you're trying to smuggle all these parts together to point in the same end destination, then in effect you are trying to smuggle a torpedo by other means.
Yeah, a disassembled torpedo with all the right, apportionments and stuff is still a thing.
Oh, and author's right, it's duranium. I keep thinking durasteel, but
Yeah.
duranium's the material, is the hull material.
This is the Star Wars crossover.
Yeah. That's no moon.
Yeah.
I didn't want to full out correct you on screen, so I just typed it.
No, feel free to correct it. I that was just a mental blip. I just skipped right over it. Went, huh? Oh, you're right.
They're very close. They're very close to each other. So.
The funny thing to me was you continued on the Star Wars one and also went with plasteel. So it all linked up. It was a correct explanation. So
I'm sure Rylov and Thralok are busy doing things there. Laura's gonna ask for permission to enter the bridge.
Well, in that case, at least for this roll, I'm going to redline the sensors by I1, so we can get some extra information from it.
Given the Andorian's spatial awareness, I'm going to say that Thrall is able to notice, if that's all right, that the Sub-Lieutenant is here, and just turn around and say, "Permission to enter the bridge granted, Sub-Lieutenant."
Thank you.
Fire your red line roll, because it is a target number you're shooting for. You know the number, rather, is the better way to put it.
Actually, she won't stand there. You tried to kill her. She's standing here.
And they're both good
at console.
Actually, I'm feeling. Yeah, let's do redline 2. Tinkering as a focus is 1 threat.
1 threat eye. No. 1 threat. There you go. Thank you. Roll 20.
Nope. It is daring. Should I get that right?
I went to the wrong book. No wonder I couldn't find what I was looking for. Boop. There. Scroll down. Fudge muffins and horse manure. All right. I believe. Yep, you definitely hit that number, and you have some to spare, I believe. Yep.
With the 2 float, can I say that the rail line into the system is in such a way that it won't look obvious Yes, from the outside world, so it doesn't look like we're excessively scanning something.
Yep, I'll take that. That seems a good spend.
All right, then. I got you an extra 20% on the sensors. There's just baby it.
Alrighty.
Refraining from commenting. She will say that, by the way.
Oof.
What's your next move, crew?
We wanted to try and determine whether or not the black hole is like actually just being generated by this facility.
The nature of the black hole.
Yeah, the nature of the black
Singularity.
hole. The working theory is that this facility is somehow generating it.
Yeah, we'll do that. Reason science, difficulty 5, system of computer science.
Testing a theory into practice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
May I help with control engineering to modulate the sensors?
Well, it's more doing the computations on your computer to analyze the facility. You've seen the facility. Now it's a matter of figuring out what you're looking at.
I am gonna spend 5 momentum to bring myself up to 5 dice.
Alright.
Reverse engineering or astrophysics focus.
Reverse engineering, yep.
Cool.
Technical insight focus for me.
Yes.
Cool.
Exotic energy source technology.
Yes.
And I'm going to make the argument for rolling insight, given she's acting as an advisor on the fact to them.
I would take that, yeah. Wait, what? Why did it do that? Why did you do that, you silly machine?
And the ship.
Yes. Computers.
Oh, that's why I'm not finding it, because I'm looking for the wrong thing.
feel
That is a lot of hits.
I feel like there should be an
A lot of
activity between
hits.
to Laura.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
6,
keep
forgetting
7,
to try to
8,
kill her.
9, 10, 11 hits.
Alright,
On a
so we have a
diff-
flow?
Yeah, I was gonna say on a diff 4.
Oh, you did knock that down to a diff 4, didn't you?
Yep. Because
Oh, okay, so I need
theory
to-
to practice.
Or 2 more. Or 1 more.
All right. So, this thing is in fact, this facility is not. It is it is not the primary reason the anomaly exists. It is part of a larger system.
Okay. Hang on. First things first. God damn it. Okay. I knew that was gonna happen sooner or later. I generated an additional bonus momentum, but you gain a threat.
Hooray!
Oh well. So, time to ask some questions. I have a free because science officer and
Plus
3
3
floating.
float.
So I have 4 questions that I can ask.
And
Oh,
advance
I know.
2 questions.
Basically, knowing what I know about what it would take to create an effect like this, and knowing what this facility is contributing to the process, could I extrapolate backwards and determine how many other facilities, how much else is also in this system?
You could, yep.
Great.
You would need So, if you recall what you scanned before on the listening post, there were 2 astronomical bodies. You would need at least a scale 3 on the other body as well, and then presuming there is no extra relays or other jump points. Like each jump point, you would require a scale 3 facility or bigger to blast that much energy and tunnel that in that way. But there would be at some point of the chain, there's at least one other scale 3 facility that I can tell you.
Okay.
And there is a facility, a master facility that's at least scale 13 or bigger.
Whoa.
Because it's such an undertaking, you would need a dedicated thing to be sitting on it, like to
Yeah,
be
you
managing this.
Yeah, you need that much power
And
to render that.
This hypothetical scale 13 facility, where would it have to be located specifically?
For another question, it would have to be within close range of the anomaly. Because this amount of power, in theory it could be further away, but then now you're talking First Federation tech, like super.
I was gonna say, yeah, ludicrous amounts of power.
But within known sciences and theoretical sciences, you would need to be at least close range for it to be for efficiency's sake, if nothing else.
So why haven't we detected it then?
It would be under a cloak.
Unless it's inside the bubble.
The bubble?
I was going to say, I feel like the answer is because we haven't detected it because it's located inside of the black hole.
Which was previously mentioned to be somewhat of a masking effect.
Yeah, okay.
If you're going to hide it anywhere.
Okay,
Actually,
in that case, I have a suggestion then.
Oh, I think we can put something together.
I have 2 floating momentum left. I want to try to create an advantage that now that I know this and now that I know what I am looking for, when the time comes for me to have to scan for it, I have an advantage on trying to locate this hypothetical scale 13 like mega structure.
Certainly.
As a thing, that ship's waiting for pickup, correct? That's the signal says waiting for pickup. So what if it's waiting for this orbiting station, the station that's close proximity to the black hole, to come around in its orbit so that it can successfully dock to that, rather than trying to fly blind into a singularity?
That would make sense.
Yeah, especially since this ship is presumably warp capable. Wouldn't be waiting
If
around
the ship is
for a
here, yes,
mothership.
it's warp capable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was never in question. It does mean we probably have a limited window of time to grab that ship.
It does, yeah. It also means that ship probably doesn't have evidence on board, though.
And also, if we go in and grab that ship, are we gonna light the interest of this theoretical scale 13 station and find out the hard way that's out there?
Well, that's its own issue.
I don't imagine firing weapons from inside of the black hole's blanket, let's call it, outside is going to be terribly easy, if at all possible.
Mm-hmm. GM, given our collected information so far, is the proper procedure here to be demand boarding and search, since we know this vessel is Federation property, or was Federation property at least?
Insight or reason, because you could look it up on the computer. Insight or reason command, difficulty 2, assisted by computers plus command.
All right. Strategy and tactics focus?
I would have to say no. This is a matter of law.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not athletics either. Then.
Yeah, you're flexing your legal muscle.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Your Honor, I submit under evidence these guns.
That's great because we're tracking weapon smugglers.
Oh my god.
See, it's all relevant in the end. You clearly
All
have a focus.
relevant. I clearly have a focus. GM, I clearly have a
Full
focus.
circle. Full circle.
Vasan has a focus in Starfleet protocols if you want her advice.
Sure. Actually, do we have the crew support for that? We've activated. Yeah, I think we do.
Talora is constant presence. She is not a
Yeah,
crucible.
Talora and
So we
we've
have
only used
4.
one. Yeah.
Cool.
Go for it. I will mechanically here assist Vasan because I'll be asking Vasan.
Okay.
Play it off like a teaching moment.
Yeah.
I
Socratic.
I do have bold command. What's my diff?
2.
2.
Okay. I'll give you 1 threat for my bold command. Bold.
Plus ship.
Good dice.
Plus ship and plus me. So here's ship. And here's me. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 float based off of my abilities.
So legally speaking, the right to board and search a vessel requires evidence of suspicious or illegal activity. Otherwise, it is an invasion of a Federation citizen's rights.
All right.
You have no current proof that they are doing anything illegal. They're on an unusual ship that was classified as derelict, but unless you can prove it was stolen in some fashion, it is perfectly legal for them to have it.
We can at least challenge them.
Okay. Question. When you say derelict, I presume we have some sort of Federation law regarding like the safety, and we need like, does it have a valid sticker? Essentially, could we try to impound them on the grounds of like, hey, this ship hasn't passed safety inspection in 53 years?
For momentum, I can answer that.
We'll spend.
Sure.
You could. Well, it was before it went. Actually, you kind of hit it on the head. I was going to say something else, but it would be not specifically 53 years, but it was declared like recently because it was upgraded and refitted and used. It was sort of a historical. Let's hang on to it. We're still using it, but because it was declared derelict at some point, even if you salvaged it, you would still need to. If you're still a Federation ship, then you would still need to declare that the ship is now no longer derelict and is safe for travel. If not, then a Starfleet vessel is obligated to perform an on-spot safety inspection to make sure the ship won't kill everyone aboard.
We also are currently observing
or kill people
surfing.
around them.
Yeah. We're also currently observing it surfing on a black hole, which is by no means safe.
So I think between the the questionable integrity of the ship plus the dangerous situation, we would at least have enough authority to challenge them and say, hey, what are you doing? Can you give us your updated papers to say that this ship is fully operational?
Yeah, and probably also how did you acquire this ship?
Well,
I'm guessing because derelict without it going through those like undereliction procedures.
The only other way that would be outside of Federation law is if they, and I only say this for completeness sake, is if a non-Federation species or an independent spacer salvaged it, and then somehow got it out of Federation space. The thing is, this thing went derelict in Andorian stars, like in the core of the Federation. So like someone would have seen it leaving, presumably. So if it was a frontier ship, it'd be a lot more likely that some independent alien species just grabbed it and never told the Federation, which is rude but not illegal per se.
Yeah.
That just means Starfleet wasn't protecting a derelict ship well enough, that sounds like a you problem. But you know, you have other questions since you do have float on the out there regarding the legality of the situation.
I assume there's regulations about former military vessels, like, and their armament status and everything.
For momentum, I can clarify on that.
I will do that.
Starships, if they are for civil use, they cannot have torpedoes. The only ships within the Federation that are allowed to have torpedoes are Starfleet vessels or Starfleet loyal vessels. Like the Andorian fleet is loyal to Starfleet. It is its own Star Navy, technically. Well, actually, no, it straight up is. It's like, yes, but we're an auxiliary of Starfleet. We're an extension of Starfleet through our own Navy. The Vulcan Science Academy is an extension of Starfleet. You have to apply to it separately, but it still requires that licensing. Or if you're
bear arms, but only as part of a well-regulated militia.
The only other exception for torpedo use is if you are a registered military mercenary vessel, which in the Federation is rare, but not unheard of. Like some people do make a living being private security ships. But Starfleet exists, so you usually don't need to bother with that. But hey, some people want it, and well, as long as you submit all the paperwork and you tell us you have them and you tell us where you're using them, all right. That way Starfleet doesn't freak out when you show up with torpedoes. Yes, if it still has torpedoes, then it is and it's not military or otherwise licensed. It's an illegal possession of torpedoes. The ship itself can still be legal. They just have to strip the torpedo room and close up the tubes.
Yeah. It can't be capable of firing torpedoes either.
Yeah. Just like the old Oberts. All the old Oberts have been refitted, don't have torpedoes anymore because they're not allowed to. Unless they're still part of active service in some fashion, which, you know.
Yeah.
Give me a spy ship Oberth.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions regarding legality?
Let's see. I mean, we have 4 floats. If anybody has any ideas, throw them out there.
I have an idea for an advantage, maybe, but it's a long shot.
Listen.
Yeah.
A specific recall all of this class of a vessel, in particular, saying that it should not be in service until XYZ feature is fixed. And if they do not present evidence that has been fixed, we have to board it and ensure that it is in line.
For 2 momentum, I will say that you could find an edge case, like there's a bit of case law where technically, like all the other heavy attack ships, it's like, yeah, we answered the recall, we fixed it because that's just legally we're required to, but also it's just a good idea, so let's just go do it. It's like, well, this ship, if it hasn't had that done, is in violation of a Federation Council recall order, which makes it an unsound spacecraft. It's a point of legality off of one case law that still applies to them. But you could do that, yeah. You could do that to them.
It's like the recall went down after it had been retired already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be good enough to at least get us to challenge them, and if they can't present the paperwork, we have reason to board them.
Well, no, we would need to board them anyway. Part of the idea is not to give them a reason to prevent us from boarding the ship. Which sounds scummy as shit, but yes.
Yeah.
If you prevent them from allowing you to board the vessel, they can lock you up in however much paperwork, legitimate or fake, that they possibly can to try and keep you away until whatever they're trying to achieve is completed.
Yeah. All right. I think those other 2
questions.
This is about legality of ship.
Legality of ship, yeah.
Is there anything to do with, it and black hole,
For
or is that
one,
just willingly endangering self?
for one, I can clarify that. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's
Um,
gonna go away. So like,
Yeah.
Federation citizens are, if they wish to undertake a risky expedition or endeavor, then it is, if they want Starfleet to be nearby to help them, they need to go through the Federation Council, the various bureaus, and say, hey, this is what we're doing. We want approval. Here's our plan. Here's our, all this. There's a whole process. So that way Starfleet is fully briefed on exactly what you're trying to do. And if something goes wrong, a Starfleet ship can come out to get you. If you go do it anyway, it's not illegal. It's just dumb because Starfleet won't be briefed that you're going to do it. And if you get into trouble, if you tell Starfleet, if you tell the Federation that here's what I'm doing, please help me, you're not liable for Starfleet going out to help you because we approved you going. And Starfleet is fully briefed as a mission state, as a side mission. Hey, by the way, if Starship A does this thing, be aware that you need to help them. So they're already prepped to do it. If you just go out there and get hurt and then Starfleet rushes out to help you and they're required to help you because you're a Federation citizen, then you're liable for any damage to the ship and crew.
God, I hope there's a Ferengi on that ship.
So it's not. So what they're doing isn't per se illegal. It's just legally. A lawyer would say it is a legally precarious position to put yourself in.
It is a foolish place to be. Well, that helps.
All right. Then yeah, I'll let that last one go.
Okay. I just imagine that advantage that Vizan happened to read that one particular case study just because it was part of her studies. Like, oh, we just did that the other week during our time at the listening post.
And she would be the nerd to hold on to that information just in case.
Mm-hmm.
What,
Or
it
it's
might
on
be
the
on the
test. That must mean it's important.
I mean, it might be on an exam later. You better remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're about to create a case study that you'll learn about in courses in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
No, it's probably not.
You're
Probably
about to create
not.
a case study.
Yeah. Let's see. So. Oh. Get me an intercept course for the position of the vessel.
Reason plus con difficulty 3. 2. No, it's a new course. Reason 3. Computers plus con. This will account for the difficulty it would normally be to go near the black hole. But if you make this roll, you set aside that added difficulty because it's presumed you've already done the calculations.
Mm-hmm. And do you want to get
yeah, sure. Focus in helm control.
I'll take it here. It's close enough.
Spend the momentum.
Typical Penn spending all the momentum on people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should call you Spend.
Come on.
Oh, God.
What was that? Get
I'm
away
sorry,
with you.
you like threw me a layup. I had to.
What? Oh.
All right,
was
plus the
really
2 from the
bad.
ship. That generates 3.
Advantage. I don't know.
I don't know either. Advantage that takes into account most likely maneuvers that the ship would make upon like in response
Realization.
to an intercept.
You could, yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Calculations are made. The ships stand resolute in space.
Yes. Lieutenant Ryloff, prepare hailing frequencies for that vessel.
Yes, Captain. Frequency's ready.
Let's see. What was the name of the ship again, Jim?
Sundown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The U.S.S. Sundown. Which
USS
is interesting
Sundown.
that it's registered still as the U.S.S.
Yeah,
So
yeah. U.S.S. Sundown, this is Commander Frolic of the U.S.S. Achilles. Please respond.
On screen appears a person. One moment.
Oh, a person.
Fudging muffins and you see a Tellarite appear on screen.
oh no.
And
This is the Sundown. What do you want?
USS Sundown, do you require assistance? We noticed you in our scan of this astronomical anomaly.
No. Anything
Interesting.
else?
Yes, there are actually multiple concerns, and I'm going
Oh.
to forward a list of grievances.
Yeah.
They're gonna
just have this like
out-legally
gesture to
the
Rylov to
Tellarite.
press the button and send like this
Yeah.
massive file of here's everything wrong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
10 things I hate about you. Number one.
Essentially, yeah.
One,
But not
should I
quite.
add you're a Tellarite on an Andorian ship? Do I add that to the
Not
list?
on itself, not in and of itself a problem.
Krylov, it's the 24th century.
And
The war's over, more or less.
Look, we
in
haven't
the
been at war with him recently.
officially,
Hmm.
So you send the grievances over.
Yeah.
Give me presence command opposed. You have 2 free hits because you do have 2 just causes for boarding, and he's just arguing back at you why he doesn't need to do that or why he feels it's unnecessary.
All right. I'm arguing with a Tellarite, relentless,
Andorian.
and Andorian, maybe. Yeah.
Increases complication on Andorian.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does.
But
Relentless though.
Relentless does apply, yeah.
Okay, I'll bring down. I'll have that as another hit. So, 3 feet, 3
If
hits.
only you had a trait for being Penzixo.
2.
It's
Penn's
like
not very
I used-
argumentative, really. That's the thing. For Teller, he's actually super
Yeah.
chill. It's like, yeah, that's because he wasn't raised on Teller Prime. He was raised in Dorian, so he's a lot more reasonable.
He doesn't have the culture of constant like social combat.
Just regular combat.
Just regular
Yeah.
combat.
Exactly. Instead of tongues like knives, it's just knives.
Explain to me why I shouldn't bully you. Punch, 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 punch. That's why.
Exactly.
Also, calm the storm because of Andorian Tellarite.
That will cancel that out. Yeah, you're.
All right.
There's an obvious old tension that's between the two of you, which is it's just something that happens.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, when you stopped at, you're in the same range band as they are. You're essentially within medium range of the anomaly, just so you're aware.
Okay.
And it did not make evasive maneuvers to get away from you. They just maintained their position. Wait, no, you didn't move close.
Wait, I didn't close. Yeah, we're
never
still
mind.
We're still
Yep,
range.
sorry, just correcting. I had the wrong map settings. You're right. Never mind.
You want to take one threat, and I know that's what will happen if we close distance, or something.
No.
All right. So presence command.
Oh, wait, sorry. That was a question you were asking. You were asking me an ESP question.
No, I was asking if you wanted to do an ESP question there. You could provide more, maybe.
I actually I'll offer an ESP perk here. There's something related to what's going on. You get the feeling that backup is incredibly close to that ship. They have no need to run.
All right.
There's a Skrull 13 station right behind them.
I'm in danger.
We've done the research.
Yeah, we know what's out there. We have torpedoes too.
Well, I bought a full mitt, by the way. Just so you're aware.
I'm looking at focuses.
Who said you could look at focuses? I didn't say
if Azan's on the bridge, she could potentially assist you.
She could, yeah. She is active.
Yeah. As continued legal kind of like rebuttals. Yeah, I'll take that. Assist.
Strategy and tactics, clearly.
I am actually going to
I
make a
also
play
have
for
the-
strategy and tactics.
Asa does have insightful guidance, which is about giving you insight in social situations if you want to call her to the bridge.
Sure.
Just makes a gesture to Rilo. Rilo taps some buttons to get the counselor up.
Oops, sorry. You went the right way. Yeah.
Oh, she probably did that of her own free will, but Tilla's probably not standing very visibly in the back. She probably just shifted off to the side. It's like, oh, you're hailing them? I'm not going to be visible.
Yeah. So because I'm receiving assists here, team dynamics is a focus.
Yeah.
All right. Then I will also buy a full med. Actually, do I want to do that? No, I'm going to buy up to 4 dice, but I'm also going to spend a determination towards a mission directive. Which is, I think it's either 2 or 3. Sorry, I forgot to do this. Yeah, mission directive 2. Determine if any smuggling routes are using the anomaly to hide their movement.
Yep. I will take that.
All right.
You get a free advantage from my thing, by the way.
Okay, so that'll be an additional hit, I guess. Actually, I'm just gonna roll base 2 here. I've got a lot of assists. I'll spend 2 for extra back.
Spending 2 what, sorry?
Momentum.
Okay.
Sorry. I was like, yes, I'm doing that, and was gonna drag him up, but then I figured I'll go first. Yeah.
Jam, can I spin you an insight command or insight medicine?
You could, yep.
All right. Either is acceptable?
Either, yeah.
Okay. And can I spin you on psychiatry or empathy for focuses for reading the guy?
Empathy, yep.
All right. Well, I tried.
I think the advisory roll only goes for the main roller.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, I could do presence as his command, I suppose.
Used in the other way around. It does.
Negotiation focus.
Yep.
That's 12 hits total.
Versus my 4.
Yeah, 12 hits plus comp. Will quash the comp.
Really? How? It's impossible.
During the proceedings, you learned that this is Captain Brock Frogrick of the Sundown. And in the argument, he argues, and you learn, he tries to be it's like pulling teeth to get this guy to just straight up answer you without just counter argue. Like, you always have to prove legally why you can ask him the question, which Federation citizen says right, he can do that, but it is a process to get him to do it, and he seems to be well read into Federation law. But eventually, you're able to get around to the fact that one, he is not the original captain or part of the original staff of the Sundown. He claims that the ship is salvaged, and that he is. The argument he tried to give you was that he was performing a stress test on the ship for a future expedition in the Shackleton, and that he would, within a certain window, he would like a forgiveness window, he was going to have his ship looked over and checked at Narendra Station. But you found that argument doesn't really hold water because he traveled through too much Federation space. So he had to. There's too many times he was supposed to check in, and as far as your computer says, he never did. Like, it's registered in the computer that there is a ship out here, and he did say to somebody the ship is out here, and the people at Narendra Station, you get the feeling that he is either forgotten to do something with the paperwork, or more likely he defrauded the United Federation of Planets, and he basically smuggled this whole starship across the stars, and just not declaring that he was in a torpedo-armed Andorian battle crew attack ship. Like, the Narendra Station didn't clue into it because it wasn't attacking anything, and it was leaving Federation space, and on paper it looks like it made sense. So he has inadvertently admitted, not that he knows this, but he has inadvertently admitted that he thought his argument sounded good, and if you weren't so well read in the law, it might have made sense. But he, through that line, he's admitted to that fault that you found that was supposed to be a recall. He didn't answer the recall, which he's required to if he's a Federation citizen. If it's salvage law, he's supposed to report certain things, like the torpedoes, for example. He's supposed to report that he salvaged. He's supposed to have taken out the torpedoes. That's 3 different charges. And then basically the 4th of smuggling this whole damn thing. And 5, he lied to you.
Yeah.
When you're in a lawful conversation, you're trying to. He's claiming Federation protection. It's like, yes, but I'm a Starfleet officer legally requesting information from you. You're in the stars. I'm a Starfleet officer. Unless you've declared yourself independent, even if he did, like, that'd be the next argument he might be leaving himself open to. It's like, even if he did, that's still Federation property. That belongs to somebody. So you're not. So you still are on the hook for like 4 or 5 other things anyway. So he has a laundry list of things he's guilty of right now.
Sometimes all it takes is a conversation to get the evidence you need.
Yep.
Look, you
This is like, well, let
just
me just save that recording here.
look, you just gotta give them just enough rope to hang themselves.
Yeah.
You do have four momentum
after-
for questions based on the conversation you had with them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I ask what this guy's mental state seems to be in terms of like, is he feeling brazen? Is he feeling scared? Is he feeling? I was going to say confrontational, but he's a Tellarite, so
That would be normal, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take one and answer that. He's stalling.
I
Like
called
he's
it.
hoping he'll get out of it. Like he might be able to get you to go away, but ultimately he's stalling.
I called it.
Calling for backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Fair.
going to do my best, Deanna Troy, and turn back to the captain and mouth he's stalling for something.
All right. Ooh, anything else we want to spend on? Because I know what I'm doing then immediately after this.
What's the crew in the background, if there are any visible?
For momentum, I'll answer.
Yep.
You see in the background some a mixture of various Federation species, but in specific, there of those Federation species, in frame for a brief moment, the average person would say that's a Vulcan. But a Romulan can tell the difference between a Vulcan and a Romulan even on even with a passing glance, because it's just that plain as day to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's a Romulan. It's and they're although they are making an effort to look a little Vulcanish, but there's like certain tones of skin, the certain pointedness of your hair, the way your hair is, the way you hold yourself. There's just little ticks that a Vulcan just wouldn't look like that. A Romulan certainly would though. So there's a few Romulans in the background, not a ton, but there's like one or two back there.
Which
there's
is
you know
still-
a bully in there, a human there.
So
one or
maybe
two still
this
significant.
so maybe this is working with some place that rhymes with bipolity.
Bipolity. Bipolity.
It rhymes with it.
Jesus Christ.
For momentum, I can help you narrow that down because you guys are aware of Tripolity's appearance and activity.
Sure.
Sadly, that's not the stupidest joke I made today.
Just gonna leave that alone. They are operating more as an independent collective. Tripolity is very martial. They're very authoritarian, militaristic type. This is too loose, too disorganized is the wrong word. It's not regimented enough the way they're moving around and acting, how they're even talking to you. Tripolity can be sneaky, and they have sneaky people, Romulans and everyone else. But it's like, yeah, but there's a way that they do it. This isn't it.
All right.
They're not acting the right way for Tripolity.
Question.
Hmm.
How scared is this captain of legal repercussion?
I can answer that with a momentum spend.
Yep.
Not at all.
They have the
Gotcha.
catch these hands card behind them. I don't think they're worried.
And also, if they're tripolity, this isn't a legal issue.
They're
This is
not
now a diplomatic
tripolity.
issue.
But they're not Tripolity.
Just established
GM.
tripolity.
Yeah.
I believe in the last session I handed Thralic a data pad with activities and plans to deal with the tripolity in our mission area. Does that come into any form of assistance right now?
That would inform that it is possible that these people are people who may be trading with the Tripolity because they are in the right
Area.
sphere of influence that they could be trading with the Tripolity. If they're not trading with the Federation, then they could be trading Tripolity or any other illegal rogue agent, rogue party in the area. But Tripolity, Tripolity would totally use someone like this if it's outside their sphere of influence.
Which, to get the ship, would have been well outside of.
Yeah, Tripolity hasn't operated in Federation space for over 5 years.
But Thralek's probably just gonna type a message to Thralek's console, just, you know, of at least 2 Romulans aboard. Opposing.
All right.
vessel.
Yeah.
Saying there's at least 2 Romulans aboard your vessel is not helpful.
At least 2 Romulans. ...
One Romulan's a coincidence, 2 is a conspiracy.
Yes.
I mean, isn't
trying
that
to
what a
figure
group
out
of
the
Romulans is
exact
called? A
list
conspiracy of Romulans?
Don't like that.
If they are stalling, we need to proceed with the extricating and attempting to extricate them as soon as reasonably possible.
I'm just right now out of character trying to remember the list of infractions that we caught this guy in red-handed.
Active torpedo tubes, failure to report salvage, smuggling,
Possession
lying
of
to a
torpedoes
Federation.
without a license.
Yeah, I said the torpedo one, I think.
Oh,
Or is
torpedo
there
one,
2
yeah.
different torpedo ones?
No, just one.
Yeah. He's got the active tubes that have failed to report. There's the salvage without being reported. Smuggling ship and weapons. Lying to a Federation officer. And
Not answering the recall.
not answering the recall. Yeah, the most important one. How did I forget that one?
Yeah.
Please say, and last but not least, failing to answer the recall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just for sake, ready to press shield button.
Yeah. I'm going to.
And just as a thing, he does have no hesitation, so that's just slam that shit.
Yeah. So immediately after Aza makes that or mouths that he's delaying, I'm going to say, Captain, under your own admission, you are guilty of smuggling, not answering a Federation Council recall, possession of torpedoes, failure to report salvage, and now lying to a Federation officer. Come by and stand by for immediate boarding, or you will be treated as a hostile party.
Call it
Yeah.
shields. The theme song changed. I'm putting the shields on.
It's diegetic music.
The no hesitation fires because Rylov is immediately aware that they're starting to power up their shields and weapons, but Rylov acts first.
Yes.
Cowabunga it is.
Cowabunga it is.
Ensign, ass-kicking playlist now.
Which is... yeah, I have
Computer,
to
play
give you a
Doom
threat to
music.
do that. I do give you a threat for that, GM.
Yep.
But yes, at the start of any round in the action scene, head one to take the first turn. Okay, so, where are we? We're not there, right? We are still right here, or
Yep.
did we?
We are still there. We have a course plotted to intercept right now.
Right.
So I can go first and then order Shashir and you to...
Go first.
Okay.
Yeah. No hesitation requires Rylov to be attacked first.
However, I have things I can do with that that'll still be useful. For example, one, raising the shields, or essentially putting red alert.
Yeah.
So shields, weapons, etc. Which is, are those 2 separate bonus actions? Or
It
is
would be a
red
minor
alert?
to order the red alert.
Red alert. Yeah.
Whoops.
And follow that up with, we're expecting a scale 13 station, so I feel like shield modulation is a on-point choice.
Yeah, you might be right here.
I forget what the roll for shield modulation is.
It is.
Funnily enough.
Oh, wrong sheet entirely. Modulate shields. Control security. Assisted by structure engineering. Difficulty 2.
Control security. I don't feel like any of my actually help or hurt me this time. I don't think I can be paranoid.
No,
with my shields.
no.
I mean, I can be. It's just like. For once, I don't have an argument to hurt myself. Tactical systems focus.
Yes.
For once, I don't have an argument to hurt myself. God.
Those are really, yeah, choice wording.
We will. I'll give you 3. Yeah, I'll give you 3. And that's not the one. Double check actually. That was. You've got that. Does the ship's battle-hardened crew actually?
Not for this aspect, no.
Okay, I was just like, I swear we've got a trait that might, so I'll ask. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I was like, that might be relevant. It's going to be relevant later, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll re-roll that. And then the ship.
Yep. Here's the ship.
Either way, that is 3 momentum, 4 momentum at the moment.
Yeah.
Resistance goes up by 1. It goes up by 1 additional for each spend.
So we'll use the 4 float made from that to shoot. So that's up by 5, right?
I mean, you can spend all 10 if you want.
That seems overkill.
Yeah, it would
Just
be
don't
really
kill
funny.
like overkill.
No, I like leaving momentum for other things to happen with
I mean,
other people. So,
I will
fair
say,
enough.
if you spent all 10, could you imagine what it would have to spend to try and pace that?
Yeah.
Come at me, bro.
yes, it's
Okay,
a funny
so-
thought. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
What was the plus there? Total?
Using all the float, so that plus 5 total.
Okay, so that's brings us to 13 resist.
That's not too much.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to make that a thing now. Yeah, update. Oh, wait, what? What? Why can't you guys? You should be able to. The hell? No, 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 no.
U.S.S.
no.
and Shim.
Excuse me.
What?
Where we go?
There we go. Sorry, the token was all kinds of screwed up, and I was like, the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Damn it. That's not what I wanted. God damn it. No. Stop.
I know this
Okay.
struggle. It's very real.
Okay, and you
Technical
up the resistance by
difficulties?
how much?
5.
5.
So, okay, so
Like,
plus 5.
that's a respectable resistance.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. 13. Was doing it properly. There.
Yep.
Okay, now update the token so you guys can move the damn token.
Yep.
Right, good. All right.
Woohoo.
That was Rylof's action.
Yes.
Do you wish to keep or swift?
We have quick to action. I don't know if we want to use it, given we don't know what they're doing yet.
Well, they're
But-
raising shields.
Well, yes. So that's probably just. He calls red alert, raises shield, and modulate shields. Captain and shields are adapted for potential incoming hostile weapons fire.
Very good.
Scan for weakness.
I don't want to make that shot. Because if I do disable their vessel, they will be pulled
Agreed.
in before we can do anything to avert such a course.
So quick to action effects keep, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick reaction is we keep the initiative 3 on the first round.
Then I think we do that.
Very well.
Who's keeping?
I am.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off by directing Shashrir to set in course and close distance.
Warping to where?
Like here. Like as close as we can. Or maybe here if that's viable.
So you want to be within close range? What range bands are you? You want to be
Close.
close range or?
Close.
Okay, so you want to be in the same area as they are.
Mhm.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll cost you 4 power to warp there.
Alright. No roll?
No roll, because she already plotted the course.
Gotcha. Question, how does that work with my direct then?
It's normally if you tried to do it yourself from the chair, it'd be an override task. You would have to roll control con difficulty 1 because you're overriding with engines con. If you direct Shashrir to do it, there's no rule because Shashrir is doing it from her station. Plus, she has all the bonuses, so it's it's almost impossible for her to fail.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with there not being a roll. I just wanted to make sure that still worked with, like, allowing me to do multiple actions on my turn, basically.
Oh, yeah, you'd still be able to swift and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ate 4 of your power away.
Yes. 6. And then I'm going to swift, spending 2. Lieutenant Ryloff, get a tractor beam on that vessel.
Yes, Captain.
So that would be.
Yoink.
I would enjoy seeing the look on the Tellarite's face right about now.
Yeah.
Control security, assisted by weapons security, difficulty 2.
And you're being
Control
assisted.
security. No, none of those.
This does use 1 power hit or fail.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Attack systems. I'll give you. It's a diff 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
Give you a threat. Okay, well, fuck.
Oh, so you have a reroll from my advisor,
One from
and
security.
yes, you can reroll both of those.
That was. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Strategy and tactics or team dynamics focus here for the assist, Jim.
Yes.
And then weapon security.
Of course, I don't roll 2 20s in a row in the game that matters for that. No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we generate 3 off of that.
Yeah.
Then let's see. Do I want to do that?
We've got 1 float from that one at the moment.
We do have 1 float.
Oh, you're thinking about determination.
Yeah,
Third go?
I'm just zoom out of here.
Do it. Please do it. Oh my god. Just kidnap them.
That would be amazing.
Just tell the station not to not send out an Amber Alert. They're not getting this child back.
Wow.
Wow. Milestone from mandatory shore leave, in that it has security and espionage tags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shore leave coming to help.
Yeah.
That yeah by the GM sounded so annoyed. It's like, yeah?
Spend my turn direct. Shashrir, get us to extreme range from the anomaly. Make sure that ship stays with us.
Of
Okay.
course.
And
You can hear the GM's plans cracking.
oh, don't worry about that. Spending 22 threat.
No, we do still have
Okay.
probes around this thing as well. So, Ben,
Yeah.
keep an eye on those. Please and thank you.
Guys,
Look, 22
Oh,
threat
no.
is
Respawn is
scary,
space
but this is
Kraken.
totally worth it. Vroom.
Oh, I'm not gonna say that.
I'm sorry,
but I
what?
thought it. The Rainbow Road is back.
Uh-oh.
So unfair. They ended the scene, I know, but you know.
Actually, I will go one step. I'll stop you right there.
He just kidnapped us.
You fired a warp, and you see the stars start racing by the screen, and then you see them start to race away from you as all of a sudden you're being yanked back. The whole ship shudders, and thankfully your shield modulation saves you from any breaches, because it does enough damage to hurt your shields, but not enough to actually break anything. As the whole ship shudders and shakes from just because you went from full warp forward to full warp backward, which is not good for a ship, but you survived it. Shishishrir then, in her masterful command of one of the most advanced starships in the fleet, pours a little bit of extra energy into it. Presumably, Arlen does redlining at some point because it probably gets desperate. And you manage to freeze yourself right where you are, hanging on to it. I was going to just drag you into the damn thing, but you warped away. So I'm like, no, you managed to stop yourself just shy as this massive energy field that, as far as your sense is concerned, is a anomalous energy. Ooh, I have that turned up way too high. A little quieter, please. Thank you. A massive energy wave that ripples out almost instantaneously, like at warps, like faster than light speeds, and blankets out and snatches both your ships and starts hauling the two ships toward them. But you're you're at maximum warp right now, and you've managed to force the ship to stay right where it is. That said, you are currently at warp 9.985.
Stationary.
And you have
I'm
1
giving it
hour.
all she's got, Captain.
But the scene ends with this shocking revelation as we cut to somewhere else in space.
You've not
How's your marriage plan going, Captain?
Yeah.
You've not had it a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say those wedding preparations.
I haven't broken your ship yet.
Yeah, no,
you
it's
gotta
still
pick
fine.
out the caterer. It's
The ship's fine. Also, if it breaks, it's Arlen's fault.
Yep.
I can't argue with that. Because
We know.
probably is my fault.
Meanwhile, somewhere else, Penn's being kidnapped because he can never have anything nice.
Aw.
I mean,
Oh.
no, I'm not
Pensieve
surprised.
wedding.
Hey, look. Don't judge two loving people for engaging in whatever kind of bedroom activity they want to engage in. If he wants to do a little kidnapping before his wedding, he's allowed to.
Look,
A little
it's
kidnapping is a treat or snack.
No. That's Grennan. That's
God.
TMI?
let's be honest.
No.
Let's not shame Jaishu for playing with Pen's scepter of destiny.
Oh,
My
no,
God.
no.
Check, please.
No.
So, with Captain Pend and Commander Jaishu, they are flying across the stars. The journey through Klingon space is eventful, but there are it's eventful in the sense that a lot of as a Tiger Narendra, as a veteran of various conflicts involving the Klingons, Captain Pen actually has a pretty good reputation among the Klingon houses, especially with their association with House of Gitta. So yeah, anyone who wants to keep their head doesn't mess with this shuttle. They say hello. They may be aggressive and say, "Who the hell are you?" You tell them who you are, and then it's oh, enjoy your travel. Like, it's very quickly that all the heat they had just dies immediately. Oops, this is the shuttle I'm not allowed to touch. Bye. But eventually you've gotten to the point where the journey does take you and Jaishu some amount of time. In the specific, find Orion on the map here. There it is. So you have to travel. Whoopsie, I grabbed the wrong thing. No. Wait, I can do this way.
Yes, Alan, but my time is finally here.
6, 7, 8. You would have gone from ship to ship, like board a ship. They warp you for a while. You disembark. You warp a little bit on your own. You would be carried along by other ships. Just because if you go by shuttle speed, you'll what was it? I said 8. So you're crossing 8 sectors of space to get all the way back to Orion space. That would take you like 8 months to get there one way if you went just by yourself. So most shuttle people grab rides along the way with other ships, and they're like, "Well, we're not going that way anymore." Well, that's okay. We'll get off and we'll link up with somebody else. And in stars like this, Klingon space or Federation space, that's not hard to do. Like, it wouldn't necessarily be military vessels; it'd be like civil vessels that were going the same way you are. Occasionally, a Starfleet vessel. It's like, hey, we don't mind having you along. Sure, we'll give you a ride. Especially once you start getting closer and closer to the frontier, to Federation core worlds. It's like, well, heck, you're heading toward the core. There's always a Starfleet vessel heading to or from the core systems. So that isn't terribly hard to do. So in all, it's taking you about a week or so to get to the Orion sector where Starbase 12 is and stuff like that. No one's heading specifically to her world because she isn't her home and her clan isn't on Orion. It's in the Valakis system. So, which is near Starbase 12, but it's not like a main drag. It's not where most Starfleet vessels are going. So you do have to do that last little bit. And that, like, it took you about a week to get across the galaxy. It's going to take you about 5 more days to kind of close that last little distance. Although you and her are currently debating whether or not you want to hire someone to kind of come pick you up halfway or not. Because it's one of those, we could take another 5 days, but we could just hire somebody to come meet us here. That's kind of where you're at. You're kind of at that weird middle ground where you're both not really sure if you just want to spend the extra 5 days or if you want to hurry up.
I mean, do you have anyone in particular you can call on, or are we just reaching out to the station to give us a lift?
She would need to perform Insight plus Con difficulty 2 to see if she does. If there's anyone near, she knows people. It's whether if someone's nearby that could be of help. And actually, the shuttle can help with computers plus con. This is a Type 7, so the Udorus. Eudorus. Sorry.
Yeah, I was hoping they're not flying in the universe.
Shush you! Shush you! I corrected myself. Damn it.
It's okay.
She'll spend a momentum.
Ugh, finally ran out of the good names.
You named the damn thing. Don't blame me. I come up with good names I can say easily, damn it. But no, so I'm gonna have to pick a Greek theme.
Well, go fuck yourself as well.
Hey, I'm the one being teased here, so.
I think the only focus she's got applicable would be like Starfleet protocols, but if not, that's fine.
Yeah, nah.
I'll spend 2 more for a 4th. So we should be down to 3. Oh, she's got a reroll.
Whoops.
Let me grab the shot.
You just make it. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
recall.
I'm gonna do the shuttle now.
Yeah, you're able to. She knows of an Orion free ship that's in the area. The starship, it translates to sure shot, but it's the Orion word for it. She knows a sure shot should be in the sector and could meet up with them, and their prices aren't terrible from what you can gather.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pay for a pickup.
If you want them to arrive near you sometime soon, well, put it this way: it's a difference between getting there in. How long would it take them at their faster speed? 'Cause they are faster than you. If you spend 1 momentum, they'll get to you sometime tomorrow. But then it's 14 hours of high warp after that because you're super close on an interstellar scale. They're just busy with something. But if you spend 2 momentum, they'll just hammer it and get to you in 14 hours.
Spend the 2.
Yep. Like, okay, hey, if you're willing to spend that much credits, well, yeah, we'll hurry up.
I mean, Penn generally
we'll rush whatever it was we were doing, and we don't mind.
Penn doesn't spend money at the best of times, so.
Yeah, they should be there in about 14 hours. They'll intercept your location.
Well, have you heard back from any of the family?
Yeah, the big problem is they're being very cagey about it. I get the feeling there's they're not saying it, but it looks like a couple of the clans are arguing among themselves whether or not to deal with the syndicate. And my family's getting caught up in trying to smooth that over, because if we don't, like, if we go syndicate, then that complicates your life, my life. I don't want to be syndicate for anything really. But even if they don't, even if they just sit there and just squabble, the longer they squabble, the more we're not making money, because who wants to deal with a family that might be syndicate linked, unless they're criminals? So I have to figure out who is actually arguing with who and why my family cares.
Well, I mean, if need be, we can go down the nepotism route.
Oh?
Well, we're expanding towards the Shackleton. We've got colonists setting up, and if I remember correctly, your family is agricultural in nature, shall we say?
Hmm.
So maybe looking towards offering contracts or opportunities. That way you don't have to rely specifically on we have to be syndicate or don't have to be syndicate.
Give me reason science difficulty 3, assisted by sensor science, because you're kind of sitting next to her on the controls, and you're probably catching sensors in general.
Ah, yes, science.
See if there's anything nearby you.
One of my best disciplines. I'd give you a focus, but it means jack shit. Unless the quantum specialist trait kicks in, I don't think I've got any traits.
It would not, unfortunately.
Yeah, figure as much. I think I was spending a value, but obviously I don't have any mission directives for clear and obvious reasons. When shit goes wrong, figure it out. Maybe something bad's happening.
I
on
would
the
take that
sensors.
here.
I'll spend 1 and 1 for a third. So that's 4. The ship. Well, the ship's definitely not fucking hitting this with a 5 total.
So you gained 1. At extreme range, you detect a sensor contact on an intercept course with your shuttle.
Is it the one we want?
For momentum, I can answer.
Sure.
No. In specific, it would seem to be a vessel that is warping toward your location with weapons and shields on.
Interesting. Joshi, would you care to buckle up, please?
You both put on your 8-point harnesses.
And I'm going to open communications with the ship.
And that will be the end of the episode.